Welcome to the 108 podcast, starring the drunk uncles of White Sox Twitter. He's at his ideal weight if he were 10 feet tall, beef loaf. Never holding but always partaking, not hungry but will eat, my sock summer. And your host, he's aged and smells like a sharp cheddar, Terezi E.
Thank you, Cornsey. Welcome to the From the 108 podcast. Get ready for some baseball, beer, and bullshit. And remember the drinking rules. If Beef Loaf says allegedly, or that he wrote a blog about that, you drink.
Oh, baby.
If My Sock Summer doesn't know a player or mentions his time on the West Coast, you drink. And if I swear or say, here's the thing, you drink. Beef Loaf, how you doing? Welcome back.
Thank you, buddy. First off, fuck the two of you for that gonzo bullshit, all right? And secondly, I had a long pontification about my time away and the time I spent in the pool and these thoughts I had and all that stuff, but I'm not giving it to you because I'm upset at you two. So what I want to talk about for my banter today is, did you guys see that Padres fan at the Colorado Stadium that just walked up and stole on a Rockies fan and knocked him the fuck out?
No, I didn't.
Yeah, so yes, there's like a video. A kind of younger dude walks up. He just strolls up on this guy. They must have been jabbering or whatever. And he knocks this guy, and the guy just like gives one of these and falls over, right? So my question for you guys, so this is like, opposing fan in your stadium kind of thing. I want to ask you two fellas, and we could go down the rabbit hole here. If you saw that happen to a White Sox fan, an opposing fan come in there, one, are you jumping in there to kind of break it up and stop it? First, if it's someone you don't know. Second, if it's someone you kind of know. And then what would we do if it was like a fellow 108 or if that shit happened?
So let's just put it this way, right? Like if we were close enough to the situation and the guy, like, let's say, was pretty reasonable about what he was jawing about or anything, he's just cheering, and then some guy gets pissed off and he comes down and hits him. Do you remember the end of Natural Born Killers when Tommy Lee Jones is like the warden and the prisoners finally get a hold of him and they just tear his body apart,
fuck him up,
and you see him like getting pulled in by the prisoners and like screaming, and then like the next scene you see of him, his head is just on like a stick. That.
Any which way, we're doing that to an opposing fan. That's
I mean, if it's unprovoked, right? Like he deserves that at least.
My Sox Summer, what do you think?
I feel like we've talked about this before, and we were all on the same page that if it was Wally and it was like a girl-related issue, when Wally was a single man and was free floating, we were like, "Yeah, we're staying out of this. This is Wally's bag. Like this is his thing." But like, as a Sox fan, like, we're just so used to watching Sox fans fight other Sox fans. It would just be very weird to see Sox fans unify over, like, beating the shit out of somebody because they're, like, the opposing fan. Like, it would be fun to witness, right? It was something that we could rally around, especially if the guy, like, went to prison, or something for because attempted murder or some shit, whatever, some South Side thing. But yeah, like usually we just are like, we're seeing our own fans beat up our own fans. Like last night, I'm watching I think it's like 112 or 113, and the guy's like down there just like going, fuck you to other Sox fans. And his girlfriend is like, go sit down. You're fucking drunk, and he's just like, and it's just like, what, come on. Like, and I'm all for it. Obviously, I would like to see a fight because it's not me. and it's about 4 sections away. So like that's fun. Like I know you guys don't like going to the Cubs Sox series mostly because of that shit.
Yes.
And honestly, like I was so hammered the last ones we went to in 2019. But that Saturday, when there was like just massive fights in like 109 and 110, like those were so much fun. Like it was just fun, like to be away from it and just to watch it. Like I mean, it really hits on my like my humanity nerve. You know, I'm just like, I know I shouldn't enjoy it as much as I do, but I just love it because most of the time they're not even really good fights. They're just like, slap boxing. Now, if somebody got really hurt or really, really injured, then I would feel bad. But
my summer always drifts. You always drift so far away from the question. Yeah. The question was, would you get in there and fucking break it up? Would you get in there and be involved in it? That's my question.
If it was somebody I knew and it was something stupid, like if it was a dumb thing, like yes, then I would jump in. Like, but if I don't know all the situation, I don't know the facts, I don't want to get on the wrong side. And like, oh, well, he just called me some bad slang name or, did something. And I'm like, I can't defend that.
So like,
and
then because then all at the guy who just hit him held up his hands. He's like, whoa, this guy fucked my grandma. You're like, oh, thank you for filling me in on the story.
I don't know. I definitely am not jumping over the seats like in that video. I'm not jumping over seats that quickly to take the guy out. But like if let's just say Chirizi's standing there and some guy comes up and just cold cocks him because he's wearing like a Jose Canseco jersey. And then I would be like, okay, I think I might have to go after this guy. Like, and if it was you, Loaf, too, like I definitely would probably fight those guys.
Might probably really like if some guy just came and hauled off on me for wearing a Canseco jersey, might.
Here's what
I'm gonna do that. No, I'll do that.
Here's what would happen if someone hauled off on Chirizi for wearing a Canseco jersey. Have you ever seen what's the Edward Norton movie where he's like a white supremacist?
American History X.
American History X. You know how they had put the motherfucker's mouth on the curb? Yeah, that's what I'm doing to that motherfucker immediately afterwards. If he hauls off on Chirizi,
I'm with you.
Maybe some jaw left, but he ain't gonna have no fucking teeth left after that shit.
Now, since we're all vaccinated, let's all do blood.
If someone did it to you, I would drown him in the Goose Island.
I was looking at it that way.
Because I want it to be embarrassing. I want you to drown in an inch of water.
I look at it like inward out. So it's like if it's one of us, they're getting curb stomped like that. If it's someone we just kind of know from Sox Twitter or whatever, I think the good approach is I'm going to go run and give the hip check to the guy because you can hit the guy kind of hard and knock him away and kind of break it up and give security a chance. But we don't have to get into it because Teresa, you and I grew up in a rough neighborhood. I don't know what the guy has on him or what.
Right.
If he has friends, I don't really want to fight. I just want to break the fight up. If it's someone we don't know, I'm staying the fuck out of it. I don't love White Sox fans that much that I'm throwing myself into conflict. I like you guys. I like you buying t-shirts and listen to the podcast. Now, if you're 3 sections away and I've never heard of you and someone punches you, I hope security gets there and you're not in too much pain.
That sounds solid.
I mean, at the end of the day, I just kind of want to sit and drink. But
perfect.
Like we've never been involved in anything that could have resulted in a fight. And if we had, it's probably because I was yelling too much. And I usually will listen when Chirizi tells me, hey, pipe down. Like I know that there's something going on if he's telling me to pipe down.
See, I only feel like we're ever in a situation like that, like where you feel like, okay, shit might turn when we're like out of town at another park.
Yeah.
And even then rarely. Right? I mean, like it's pretty like most places are pretty accommodating to other fans.
For sure.
Yeah. Maybe not wherever this Rockies Padres thing happened, but otherwise.
Well, the guy was tough. I mean, he looked tough. He went up there and he's like, oh, hey, boom. But then he couldn't take 6 guys at one time. So that's not tough.
You can.
Lisa Sparks, maybe.
As a guy that went to opposing stadiums almost primarily, like as an opposing fan, like I never like talk shit. I never did any, like that wasn't my place. No. Like, cause it's like, this is their home. You don't go into somebody's home and tell them how much their shit sucks. Right? You just are like, hey, you know what? This you got a pretty nice house. this is great. And then when you leave, then you can talk shit about it all you want. Just don't talk shit while you're at the house, like leave and do it, Now you can
behind their back. You go behind their back.
I would yell at Cubs fans when they're at a Sox game on the road, though. Like if anybody showed up with a Cubs jersey to a Sox Angels game, I was like, dude, Cubs suck, bro. That. Then I would do that because that's family. That's like cousin shit.
Right.
So yeah. So
all
anyway.
Right. My Sock Summer, how you doing? Are you in a fighting mood?
No, I'm donating. I have some shit to get to later today, so I'm donating my banter time to the end of the show. So I'm gonna do that, but I want to bring this guy out just for a second. Like, hello, Loaf.
So you son of a bitch.
So what was awesome about that too?
Nothing. Exactly zero was awesome about that.
So I went
nice glasses.
I put up the podcast and stuff, and then I'm like looking at making sure that it went up to YouTube fine after the live stream, and the little video that like gives you like when you hover over it and you see the clip, it is me in one cell and Gonzo just moving back and forth in the other one. It was fucking perfect. I loved it.
Oh man, it's great. It was a great $2 investment. So just for that show.
You had some great takes, Beef. I was very impressed. You said numbers.
I always do. I always do have great takes, even when I'm not there. Apparently, I guess.
I don't really have a lot tonight for banter, but here I'm going to go on for 3 hours.
It was one question. You're the one who went on for 3 hours talking about all these deep thoughts that have nothing to do with it. And there's people up in the comments saying, "I want to start some shit." No, I said if someone hit us.
He was the one. He was the one that wanted to fight the least out of all of us.
Apparently. Yeah, I don't want. Yeah, exactly. I have no interest in getting in a fight.
I did not want to talk to you or fight you.
Yes. I did not want to jump in there and fight myself. I just said that we as a mob would destroy them, and I'd have the stick.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, you guys walk really fast though, so I think you would like shovel butt out of there really fast, and I'd be the one that end up getting my ass kicked.
Yeah,
so,
probably. Yeah, that seems accurate. Yeah.
That seems according to plan. I mean, that seems like it might happen.
Teresi, how are you doing?
Doing good. So I went back to the office this week a couple times, and so one of the things about my office is it's close to a Portillo's. So I of course went to Portillo's for lunch, and I had a beef, and I feel like the Portillo's beef is your replacement level player beef.
Yeah.
Like I like it.
Yeah.
I like it, but like it's not my favorite for sure. And so like, like Al's beef is probably like a plus war beef. And then and then you go to like those Greasy Spoons or something where they got like 100 different things and then they also have an Italian beef. Those are like negative war. Not good. And I was thinking about it, like what are some of your guys' go-to foods? And where do you get the replacement level version of it? Like where, like you like this sandwich, you like, a pizza or something, and then you got like you would go to this level because that's what's available right now.
Oh, I mean, that's perfect for me going back in the office a little bit because when I'm in the office, I generally get Chipotle for lunch. Oh. And Chipotle is basically like replacement level Mexican food, right? It's not as bad as Taco Bell. But it's not good. Like any taqueria in the city that you just go to, it's like 3x whatever the fuck Chipotle is. Now Chipotle's not bad; it's fine. But the reason why I order it, it's close to the office. I can order it and just run and pick it up, and I don't got to do anything. I just show up, grab the bag with my name on it, and get the fuck out of there. And that's kind of why I like it. It's just quick and easy. So I think that's probably that would be something for me. Something that I eat a bunch of, and it's just like it's okay. It's not great.
So my replacement level pizza is obviously, we all know it's Little Caesars. My go-to, my number one is definitely my Punkies. Like, so like that's where I'm going to get my pizza if I can get it. Now it's not in the city. Now if I'm in Sterling, I'm getting Angelo's, but that's different. That's a totally different story. But like replacement level pizza in the hood is definitely Little Caesars pizza. Like it's okay. It's like a step above, frozen. So, that's it.
What's worse though? What's worse than
Papa John's is like a negative war pizza.
Yeah,
right?
I guess
Papa John's is bad. And I know this because I bought a Papa John's pizza after that opening night of Sox Fest when we had Sox Prom. And I got all fucked up and was walking the street and hit White Castle and Papa John's. And I hadn't had Papa John's long enough that I had 100% forgot how awful Papa John's is. So I bought a Papa John's pizza and I ate it and it was horrendous. I gave it to a homeless person.
Wait a minute. You had White Castle, then you had Papa John's after it. You ate White Castle. Then you walked down the street. It's not that far away. I mean, it's close to each other. And then you walk to Papa John's. You're like, yes, it's time to eat again after this.
I was living my best fat life, my friend.
Oh my God.
And and I had lost weight at that point. Like I was down, and so I think
not anymore.
I was drunk on life, high on life, and I know this will come as no surprise, but I was definitely chasing Marlboros while I'm walking down and ordering food. So it was that was what I was doing. I was like, this is what I'm doing tonight. I'm smoking cigarettes and eating bad pizza and potentially shitting myself with the White Castle. Yep.
I don't even think they're 2 blocks apart. I think they're less than 2 blocks apart.
Nope.
That's what I love about it so much.
It's pretty fabulous.
All right,
so
fellas.
Yeah, that's the lowest. That's the lowest. Yep.
All right, fellas, gotta ask you guys a question. What are you drinking?
Ooh! I'd like to start. I'm drinking Goose Island tonight. I'm drinking the turbo juice.
Turbo juice.
Nice.
And the turbo juice not only tastes delicious, but when I opened it and poured it, it smells amazing. I almost didn't even want to drink it because it smells so goddamn good. So I'm only going to have one of these guys. And then in the backup, I got the classic. I got the 312 lined up from Goose Island. So it's going to be an all Goose Island night for me. My summer. How about you, buddy?
I'm drinking Outlier, which is a double dry hopped IPA from Goose Island, and then I'm going to move into the is it Cervalis IPA, I think. It's a real nice one, actually. I'm going to pull it out right now.
Oh, whip that thing out, baby.
Excuse me while I whip this out.
Hey, blind baby.
Yeah, Vernalis. Vernalis is the one there.
Ah,
yep, Vernalis.
Good.
It's like a nice little double dry hop IPA from our friends over there at Goose Island with the Citra Chinook special 586 and Laurel hops, and it's an APA. Actually, it's not an IPA. That's an American Pale Ale for all you motherfuckers. Usually a little less malty. So, and I also got one of those big tugs in there from our guy Jeff the Giant. So I will be drinking that. I still have 2 left to give to you guys. I'll give them to you tomorrow.
Oh snap! That sounds
lovely. Chorizo, what are you drinking?
So I got the old Sox Ale here.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
From our friends over at Goose. Yeah. Quite delicious. Gonna have a few of these. It's nice. This is a nice one for doing the podcast because you can have a few on a Thursday night, on Little Friday, and really enjoy yourself without destroying your Friday morning.
Yeah.
So that's the goal. We'll see how I do.
Just a side note, our guy Brewhand Luke wrote a beer review at the park last night. I drank a bunch of pineapple guppies from Pipeworks. They're the Midwest beer section that's at the top of section 108 is now open, so you can go over there. They have oh shit, what do they have on draft? The 312 Shandy, and they have some Revolution, but the Pipeworks they have in the can. And Mr. Hand says to me, I can smell that pineapple from that pineapple guppy. And then I asked him if he wanted to taste it later. It was pretty good. And so people that know about pineapple
content already.
Here we go. Come on, that was good. That's a good drop.
That was really good.
That was
really good. And in fact, so good. I think it's time for you to pay some bills.
I'm sad, guys. My guy Treasy went to Mazda of Orland without me. Didn't even ask if I wanted to go. I'm also bummed he decided to play it safe and invest in a down payment instead of dropping the money on the White Sox charity raffle tickets to win that fancy CX3 SP, which our guys at Orland Mazda donated. So Treasy, I want you to answer a few questions for me. You can take the graphic off if you think it's weird.
Well, let's go.
Okay. How was the car buying experience?
So it was actually really good. Yeah. And it was pretty quick too. But that's the thing. Like when you were like, hey, tell me, I'll go with you. I don't want you coming with me to buy a car. Like if I was just going there to say hi to the guys and like do a test drive or something, yeah, I would have taken you with me. But like I'm going to purchase an automobile. It's weird. I'd be like, I brought my wife and this guy.
Yeah, well, like, hey, he's like the stunt double for my brother, just a little fatter, and see if he can fit in the back seat.
What are you, Costanza, to like negotiate for me?
So did they lock you in a room?
Did they lock me in a room?
Yeah, did they lock you in a room, make you sit in a room after you said, "Oh, this is what I want," and then they just make you sit there? Did they lock you in that room?
No, I actually sat in their like waiting area while I was waiting for the car. But it was funny. I was telling Beef, I looked over at when I was sitting in there, and they had a little bonsai tree in there.
Yeah?
And I thought I was going to get a free bonsai tree like at LaRusso Auto.
Yeah.
I didn't.
Yeah.
I didn't. In fact, if I would have, I wouldn't have known what to do with it. I probably would have given it to you, my sock summer. Like,
yeah, I would have smoked it.
Sell this on eBay or smoke it.
So
or eat it.
Now, did they drop a lot of? I got to go talk to my manager. Like like a lot of car places do that. Did they say that to you a lot?
No, it was none of that junk, man. Like it was really like it, and like everyone there kind of looks like us, which is nice. Yeah. Right.
So,
but that was the thing too. Like I was a little the car that I went there to drive. I was like, hey, can I check this out? And I think the guy noticed that old Treasy's got a juicy double.
The juicy double, yeah.
And he was like, I don't know about. Let me show you this other car. I was like, I want to check this out. And I drove around and I was like, you know what? This guy he recognized my beefiness. He knew the size car that I needed. And so I had some mad respect for that. I appreciated that.
So I think I know the answer to this already, but since they didn't do the I got to talk to my manager part, they probably didn't do the, well, guys, we've never done this before. Like he didn't come back and say that to you. No,
in fact, what I did find out though, is that now me and Adam Engel drive the same car.
Really?
So I not only have his pants, but I also have his car now.
Awesome.
So I'm like a hamstring pull away from being Adam Eaton.
Basically
Engel, I should say. Sorry.
Yeah, you're basically the same person.
I think Adam Eaton has a Mazda too, honestly, but I know I have the same model as Adam Engel, or at least that's what they told me. Maybe that was where they got me.
That was
I've seen this guy in Adam Engel's pants. I bet he wants to be in Adam Engel's car.
So
and they got me. It's wonderful.
It worked. It worked. They knew how to pull you in.
That's a classic right there.
Did they make sure that you were happy with what you picked out, or did they try to get you into the metallic P Wagon Queen family truckster instead of the Antarctic Blue Super Sports Wagon that you wanted?
No. So what's funny was like they had a good number of the car that I wanted in stock, so I actually even got the color I wanted.
What color did you get?
So I got like this like midnight blue, which is
basically the Antarctic blue.
Because
yes,
Beef, my color blindness, I could actually tell what color this is. But it was funny, we were looking at the cars on the lot, and Cornsey was like, "What color do you think that one is?" Because it was like this, like kind of, I guess it's like a bluish. It was like slate or something. It was like bluish gray. I was like, "That's a light blue car. I don't want that car." Like to me, it looked like a fucking sky blue car. And I was like, why would I want that? And she's like, yeah, that's not the color it is.
Wonderful.
So, and most importantly, Chirizi, we're our guys over there at Orland Mazda Jagoffs.
Of course not.
Of course they weren't. Because they told us that. And there's one thing we should all know is they're not Jagoffs.
And so I dropped some koozies on them too.
Nice.
And you know which one they like the best?
Yeah,
not the hot tub one, unfortunately.
They didn't like the hot tub one.
I mean, I think they liked.
They didn't like my tribute to Martin.
They didn't like it the most. They liked the baseball beer and bullshit. That was the winner there. Yeah.
It's a good one.
So we might need to redo those. I feel like I almost forgot we had them.
Maybe I'll make another one. Maybe I'll do a crossover. We'll see. Well, that's all I needed to hear. So give them a follow over at Zoom Nation and check out the worldwide webpage Mazda of OrlandPark.com. They are a Carfax top-rated dealer, and take advantage of that $500 discount for Sox fans. Not for you Cubs fans. You can go fuck yourself. Mazda of Orland Park, home of the Zoom Nation. 8910 West 159th Street, Orland Park. 708-444-3200. Zoom.
All right.
That was wonderful.
Guys,
thanks.
You want to get into maybe a little baseball talk?
Woo! Hell yeah.
All right.
Mercy.
Beef, I think you got something for us. So we're gonna do a little small sample size theater. Beef's gonna give us some performances, and we're gonna discuss them.
So right now we're only 35, 40 games into the season. We're just getting about 25% in, and so we're starting to understand some stuff. But I wanted to even shrink down from that whole piece. Just look at the last 2 weeks. I just want to look at May performances, talk to you guys, see what you're feeling, thinking about these particular players. So we're going to go down the line here. We're going to give you 3 hitters and 3 pitchers, and I'm going to read you off their performance and see where we're at with these folks. First off is Jose Abreu. And this is stats coming into today, so it does not count the stats from today, actually. These are pulled from Fangraphs. Jose Abreu, in the first half of May so far, is hitting .313. He's got a .425 on base and a .656 slugging. That's a almost 1080 OPS so far. He's got 2 home runs, and he's got 12 RBIs. My Sox Summer, is this garbage time, Jose? Or is this Jose about to start getting on him a nice little roll for himself?
That's what I think it is. I think Jose is like, and the old adage is it's warming up. Even though I'm wearing my winter coat to games still, he definitely is going. He's starting to hit it. He's starting to see it. I think level of competition has helped out too. We haven't been facing like the best pitchers recently, so that's been very beneficial for this team. I definitely think Jose Abreu is trending upwards right now. And looking by his plays in the field the last couple days, this guy is still that guy. And I'm pissed. I'm pissed that motherfuckers were calling him out like a mere 3 weeks ago as like, fuck this guy, fuck this, what is he doing, fuck this. And then now only to be lapping his balls yet once again because they understand that you're finally seeing it. And you're like, God, it's just like, just be fucking patient, you assholes. Just chill out for 5 seconds and let our guy get into a groove. I mean, it's a fucking marathon. This is not a sprint, okay? And Jose is working as hard as he can to keep up with these fucking youngsters. And it's great to see. It's fun to see. It's awesome to see live.
I love it.
I'm glad you brought it up, my Sox Summer, but the fielding has been so good. And not just the spectacular play, over the shoulder catch yesterday, but him picking the ball at first base.
Yep.
And I had the TV on kind of off to the side today while I was working and on mute. And every once in a while I would glance over. And of the 15 times I glanced over, 2 times Jake Lamb just couldn't come up with the ball.
Yes, it was terrible.
And so I'm assuming that it was more than 2 times. I wasn't just lucky and caught these 2 times that this shit happened. But you see other players against us too, just not having that proficiency at first base, and you realize how many outs you can give away, and I think it's underrated as far as Abreu, because Abreu is so much, bat first guy that I think we just dismiss how well he's playing at first base. So I love that you brought it up, my Sox Summer. And on top of that, he is just going to be on fire for the rest of the season. This is just the start.
I hope so. I really hope so.
Yeah, my Sox Summer, I do love that you brought that up. And it's especially interesting because you guys remember when he first got here, right? He wasn't a good defender at first base. He worked his ass off to become a good defender. He was kind of a crappy defender when he showed up in Chicago 2014, 2015. And he's put in the work to get better on defense. And not everyone does that, especially as they're aging like he is. I wanted to bring this up real quickly before we move on to the next player. I looked it up because I agree with my Sox Summer. Everybody, all the people that were screaming aggression last year and the contract's bad and all this shit, they're the ones who want to say, oh, well, he's finally going downhill. Here's Jose Abreu's batting line since he signed that deal before last season. He's hitting .290, .356 on base, .563 slugging. Those are terrific numbers. Over 900 OPS. Guy's been awesome, and I'm glad to see him heating up again. Next player, and we're going to go to Chorizo first on this one, is Yasmani Grandal. Coming into today, Yasmani Grandal in the month of May, 143 average, .581 on base percentage, .571 slug. That's about 1150 OPS. He's got 2 homers. 5 RBIs, 51.6% walk rate. Treasy, is the homers we saw in the last 2 days and the slugging that we're starting to see from Yasmani Grandal, is this the upward trend, or are we just facing a beat-up Minnesota Twins team and it's going to go away and he's going to go back to just looking at it?
No, I think it's a combination. So I mean, like he still has tons of power, and we were talking about it in the spaces the other day. Like he's still hitting it hard, but he's hitting it into the ground, right? Like so when he gets under it, like it's going to go far. I just think he's going to end up being like a really frustrating guy to watch bat. But I think the overall results will be good, right? I mean, like he's going to walk a lot. he's going to strike out looking from time to time, right? Like that's going to be frustrating. He's going to hit a lot of ground balls. Like it looks like that's, like just the way he's swinging right now. He's hitting a lot of stuff real hard directly into the ground. And so you're going to see like double plays out of him. He's slow. Like, so his BABIP's not ever going to be high. So like, it's going to be a frustrating watch. Like he's going to hit, I would guess he hits like 15 to 20 home runs this year. But
I hope so.
Not a ton of hits, right? Like
it's 28 hits total at 20 home runs.
Right. I mean, like that's what it feels like. And so I think like overall, what you're going to get out of Yasmani Grandal is going to be good, and you're going to like it. Watching it plate appearance to plate appearance, I don't think it's going to be that fun to watch. Like it's just not. It's going to be like back if you were a Reds fan when Adam Dunn was on the Reds. That's the kind of guy that you could kind of see here. Like he's gonna walk a ton. He's gonna strike out a bit. He's gonna take a lot of 3-2 pitches that you don't want him to take. Kind of like Yohan a few years ago.
Yep.
And then he's going to hit some monster bombs, and he's not going to hit 40 like Adam Dunn, but like he's also not going to play every day. So I don't know. I think it's going to be a combination of some good slugging, low average, and a high OBP. And so that's not like I said, that's not the best guy to watch play on a daily basis, but the results are going to be good. You're going to appreciate Yasmani by the end of the season.
I'm going to agree with that. And I think what fucks him up a lot is that I think he was billed as a power hitting catcher coming in, which he really isn't. Like he had like the year before he came to the Sox, he hit like 26 homers, I think. And I think that was the most he's ever hit in a year. And I think people expected that. I think they expected him to be like a big guy. Now you also have like the look doesn't match the thing. When you see Zach Collins and he walks, you're like, yeah, I expect this nerdy looking dude to walk. But when you see a guy that's like all tatted up and has a mohawk, you're like, this guy should be fucking hitting the long ball. Like that's what he should be doing. And he's not. So, and with a name like Yasmani Grandal, like you should just be plowing shit out of the park. And he's
yes.
But so I totally stopped. I waited because I knew it was happening, so I just stopped. But no, it's just I think that's just it's a visual thing too, like the perception of who he's supposed to be and what he actually is this. And it's like, and I was saying this, I was talking with Mr. Han and all these guys. It's like, listen, if he was getting a single, people would be happy. A walk is just as good of a single, like it really is, because that's really all he's gonna get. Like you're holding out for maybe him getting a double. You're holding out for maybe like hitting a home run. But like for the most part, you're looking at probably a single. So like if he's gonna get on base, like he's still gonna get caught in a bunch of double plays as easily if he's walking or getting that hit. So if you would be okay with him getting a single, you have to be okay with him getting a walk. So yeah, but it's not fun to watch. It's just it's laboring, to be honest. Sometimes you're just like, Jesus Christ, just fucking hit the ball.
It's laboring. I think he's working through that injury he had. Maybe he's starting to feel a little bit better. I think he's probably getting used to like the one knee catching style that everyone's trying to do now. So I it feels like maybe he's coming through all this stuff and he's going to get back to normal Yasmani Grandal, not Yasmani Grandal where he walks like 30% of the time, because he's just not swinging as much. I think he's going to look to drive more balls like he did this past week. I think we're going to start seeing that. I think we're going to start seeing more fly balls, less ground balls, and we're going to see the guy who we thought we were getting.
I do like the meme that I dropped last night that somebody put up there, or the GIF, and it just says, Yasmani Grandal walked all over your team. I think it's the greatest fucking gift that's out there right now for him because it's true and it's funny.
Bonita Stakey, she loves the Y guys. She loves Yoan, she loves Yermin, and she loves Yasmani, and she calls him Yaz Money. Like that's her guy right there. Loves the tats and all that stuff. So Yaz Money, that's her guy.
That's
all right. Last hitter that we're gonna go with, and that is gonna be Nikki Madrigal. Okay, and it's before today, coming into today. Nikki Madrigal in May so far is hitting 250 batting average, 250 on base percentage, 278 slugging percentage. And that's with 0 home runs and just 2 RBIs. Treasy, is there a more frustrating player on this team when they're not hitting than Nikki Madrigal?
No, because here's the thing. The thing that I wanted out of Nikki Madrigal was to be kind of, and I don't use this lightly, but like people love him this much, I'm going to use this guy to be a little bit like Derek Jeter, where like Derek Jeter to me was a tremendous hitter in the fact that he could really put the ball where he wanted. Like if Timmy's on first, he's hitting it behind Timmy, right? Like he's just gonna make the shit go that way, right? And you get Madrigal in these situations where you're like, this is perfect for a guy with incredible bat skills. He just needs to poke it down that side, or he needs to. They're shifting on him to try and get a double play here. Just put it through the hole, and like he fucks up every one of those situations.
It feels like it, doesn't it?
At least it feels like it. Yeah,
they punt guys over and they get it to second and third, and then it's like he fucks up. He somehow doesn't get the run in. Exactly.
Like the one time he doesn't put it on the ground, like and it's just like it is frustrating. Like we were at the game the other night, and we were just kind of like, we know he's gonna fuck this up. And it's me being negative, and it's an eye test. Like I don't have statistics to say like he always messes up with runners in scoring position, but like, it's your question was like, is he the most infuriating guy to watch bat? And like I just talked about how infuriating it is to watch Yasmani bat, but at least the results are generally good. Like he walks all the time, and you're just like, all right,
yeah.
Nikki, like he just seems to. Like every time I want him to do something really good, like when he has the opportunity, he's in this perfect position, it just doesn't happen. Now I am not forgetting that he walked the game off earlier this season.
Yes, we were at that game. He hit it over Joey Gallo's head. Or Joey Callow. Could be Joey Callow.
We're talking May.
We're talking May, and we're talking when he's not hitting. So I'm not saying his overall. I'm saying when he's in a patch where he's not hitting, it feels like he's frustrating because he doesn't hit the ball. There's nothing else to buoy the performance. It's got to be those seeing eye singles. And when those ain't getting through, it feels like it's frustrating. My suck summer, what do you think?
Yeah, and not only that, though, but when he does get on base, like he just tries to do too much and he fucks. But you know what I'm saying, right? Like he's like, oh, let's go for 3. No, dummy. Stay in second.
He's been getting better, though, I think. I think he's getting better at just realizing, you know what? I don't got to do everything. I'm just going to take the easy base and not do too much.
You know what, though? I'm not going to blame it all on him because McEwing is over there sending everybody.
Is he really?
I love it.
Yes.
I love it.
Oh, my God.
Like,
if the ball is in the outfield, he's a windmill over there, just sending everybody home. And, like, and there's, but I think, I think it is McEwing being aggressive against what we've been seeing as terrible arms in the outfield.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like, I mean, Beef, we were at the one game against Cleveland, and Josh Naylor was out there, and like the first time he threw it into the infield, like it looked like Tim Tebow throwing a pass, and we're like, did he hurt himself or something? And then it was on like a short fly ball. McEwing sent someone on had him tag up, and Naylor threw it home, and it took like 47 bounces.
Yeah,
so
it was unbelievable.
I think there's a lot of bad arms out there, and McEwing's just taking advantage of it and going like, "We'll just go. We'll try tell this
shake it out." Maybe we should check his energy drink, see what's in there. Maybe he's got something going on. Joe McEwen is a good personal friend of mine. I did walk the lineup card out with him when Mark Parent got canned. I got Joe McEwen. Yeah, no, he's on my wall somewhere over here. There's a picture of me with Joe McEwen. But yeah, no, if he's getting sent, then that's not his fault. But I think Nicky Mads also is suffering from he has that look about him every time you see him that he looks nervous as fuck. Like he was definitely beat by his father. Like when they were playing baseball, like if he had a bad game, his dad probably whooped his ass. So like he has that look like, oh fuck, I fucked up. They're gonna fucking get me. And then he's like, I'm sure his dad had like a little game. He's like, yo, if you get the third, I'm not gonna hit you as hard. So like that's why he's always running. He's trying really hard.
Wow.
That went somewhere. I'm not sure where it went.
Just saying. That's what I'm getting. That's just listen.
That's the vibe you're getting. That's the vibe you're getting.
This is what I'm seeing.
Okay. All right. So onto the pitchers, and I want you to wipe away what may or may not have happened today in the game because it kind of fucks up one of these. The first I'm going to go with is Jose Ruiz. Okay. Jose Ruiz in the month of May, before today, obviously, had thrown 5 2/3 innings. He had no ERA. He had almost 8 strikeouts per 9 innings. He had been really good, and he'd been a guy who we are used to throwing kind of in the spots where no one cared. And then today they did actually throw him in high leverage, and he fucked up. So try to wipe that from your memory. My Sox Summer, do you think this is an upward trend for Jose Ruiz, or should we just be happy with the fact that he can throw some zeros when it doesn't fucking matter?
I feel like the bullpen all collectively has been kind of not as good as it had been, and starting off with him because you brought him in the other night and he looked great, like he was fine, like he once again serviceable, not lights out, but that's not what you're expecting from him potentially. But yeah, today kind of fucked it all up. But I think he's okay. I think you keep him around. I don't think you get rid of him. Like I think you just kind of I'm not gonna go as far as to say that he's trending up or trending down. I think he's like a C average. Let's see what he can do. Maybe he puts in a little extra work, maybe he gets better, maybe he doesn't, and then we can fucking jettison,
Not showing off, not falling behind. C average.
Solid right there.
Crazy.
I mean, you need guys like this, right? Like this is the guy that like you need because like Jimmy Cordero's on the shelf. Jace Fry's on the shelf.
Yep. Matt
Foster forgot how to pitch. Like you need a Ruiz that's just gonna go out and get you some innings, especially like yesterday in a game where like we're beating the shit out of the team, but like the other relievers don't want to get anybody out. Like you right. Throw them into games like that. Mm-hmm. So I don't know. I think there's a risk of overworking him because he's kind of just that arm that it seems unimportant in the bullpen.
And in so fairness, today when he got roughed up, this was his 3rd day in a row pitching. So I mean, it's possible that it's like a little bit overusage.
That's what
some of the effect of today.
And that's what Sal is saying in the chat.
Yeah, but don't give White Sox Sal any credit. Yeah, fuck you, Sal.
Oh no, he's been real nice to me, like because he liked my rant in the Sunday soak or Saturday soak. So he's been being really nice to me recently. So I expect that to change at some point. So yes,
yeah.
I'm giving him credit, John. So fuck you.
Yeah. God damn you guys. Fine.
And if Josh Nelson agrees with them, then you know that he's sort of right. So at least potentially right.
All right. Next up. Is a guy
nothing.
Who. What?
All right, nothing. Go ahead.
Yeah, thank you. Next guy up is a guy who Rick Giolito has been in my ear about all offseason. That's Dylan Cease. Dylan Cease in the month of May so far, 2 starts, 11 innings pitched, almost 15 strikeouts per 9, 2.45 ERA. He's 1-0. Treasy, is Dylan Cease becoming more than just a 5th starter?
Yes. He's becoming a 4th starter.
Yes.
Like I think he's looked good. Like honestly, in the other night, he looked like what I expect Dylan Cease to look like. Right? Like he's good most of the game. He has a rough inning. The team helps him get out of it, and the team gives him some runs, and he gets a win. Yep. Right? Like that's the Dylan Cease that I expect to see. That's all I expect out of him. If he exceeds that, that's awesome. If he's worse than that, then like it might be time for someone else to be in the rotation. But so far, he's kept himself in the rotation. I don't think he's ever going to be like the ace of your staff. Like he's not going to ascend that high. But like he's a valuable guy where he's at. Like we need, just like Jose Ruiz, you need this guy.
We do need
a
this
back
guy.
of the rotation guy who's good. Like I think we've seen so many shitty teams in a row that we're like, you only need 2 pitchers. So like,
Right.
you need a stable, as one of our friends would say.
He's not bottom bitch.
And no, he's not bottom bitch, but he's still good.
Yeah.
So and so I don't know. I've liked what I've seen out of him, and I'm confident in him going out there now. Like before, I'd be like, still in C-State. It's gonna be a rough one. Like the control is gonna be all over the place and stuff. It's been pretty good. He's gonna, he gets wild in the strike zone a little bit and gets hit. But he's recovered from that. He hasn't kind of like had a couple bad things happen in a row and then just fallen apart. Like he's really just going out there and he's pitching his game. Beef, I don't know. I mean, you were always under the impression that he was like way too nervous. And like it was very much a mental thing. It seems he's gotten over that. I don't see that being the problem now.
Yeah, I agree with you. I actually thought last night was a watershed moment for him, and it was like in Goodfellas when Henry Hill's character, when he's younger and he gets pinched, but he keeps his mouth shut, and they're like, "Oh, you broke your cherry." I felt like last night Dylan Cease broke his cherry because it was a start against a really good offense. The Twins are like a top 7 or top 8 offense. Forget that they can't pitch worth the shit, and we beat the shit out of them for 3 games. Their offense is actually good, right? He didn't have it, right? He did not have it the other night when he was pitching. But he battled back. He stayed strong, and he got 5 innings and gave up 3 runs. Guess what? Sometimes when you go out there, that's what it fucking looks like. And to me, that was a great start because it was like, you didn't have it. You weren't mowing down some bums like Detroit. You had a real offense here, and you held your shit together mentally and physically.
And that's what that confidence boosters do with these fucking bum slayer shit that he went out and did. When he went out and killed these fucking teams, he gained that confidence and he can come back in here and just be they can battle through it a little bit better, right? Like there's probably many nights at a bar that some guys are out there and they're like, yo, keep getting shot down left and right. But then that one girl's had too many fucking beers and she gives you a chance and lets you in. It's a total freak, right? You didn't know. Like it was just a total accident. But you know what? That gives you the confidence. So the next time you go to fucking Molly's in DeKalb or whatever, you're going to talk to that hot chick right away because you're going to see what happens. And you know what? She might not be into you right away, but you're going to fucking work her a little bit. And then it might turn around. Maybe she likes the music you're into or something, and you find it. But when you would have walked away before, you fucking don't, because you're like, remember that time it worked? So, yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Exactly. All right.
80 great analogies, my friend. That's what I'm known for, okay? That's what I'm known for.
Last guy is Dallas Keuchel. Dallas Keuchel, so far in May, he's had 2 starts. He's 1-0. Had 12 2/3 innings pitched. 4 1/4 ERA. So whatever, kind of average-ish. 1.42 strikeouts per 9 innings. And so my question to you, Treasy, is can a major league pitcher in 2021 survive for the rest of the year with 1 fucking strikeout per 9 innings?
No. No. Even a guy like Dallas Keuchel who gets hitters to put it on the ground, right? Like even that, you got to strike guys out. You know why? Because there's going to be that inning when Yoel Moncada just decides to not catch a pop-up at third.
That inning has been coming around a lot lately.
That inning happens like every other game. So and that's the thing. There's going to be spots where you got to strike a guy out because you got second and third with no outs early in the inning, and you need to get at least one of those guys out with a strikeout, man. You can't just rely on your infield being incredible and you getting the ground ball because it's just not going to happen. It's not going to last. Like it just can't. So I don't know. I like Dallas Keuchel. I feel like Dallas Keuchel might need to cycle through the 10-day IL a few times this year just to get him a little rest.
Yeah.
Like you've got Michael Kopech there. I think the Sox need to start getting creative with their 6 pitchers, especially if Rodon's getting some tightness now. Like you gotta go Dodgers here and really abuse the 10-day IL and start to get these guys some rest, because like I need Dallas Keuchel in September. Like that's when I need Dallas Keuchel. I need Dallas Keuchel to throw a ground ball when he's got, you know, the bases loaded and 1 out, and he needs a double play ball. Like that's the Dallas Keuchel I need.
You got to go all Al Civic. Ow, my arm. That's what you need to do with half of these guys. Throw them on the IL.
It's broken.
Give them 10 days.
It's broken. Yeah.
My Sox summer. What do you think?
I like Dallas, and he doesn't openly thrown games like he did in the playoffs last year. So he's on my top of my half of my list. Yeah, okay. He's coming around. I don't know where he's at, and I think Treasy hit the nail on the head. I think that the 10-day IL, because I think he isn't 100%. I think, and I don't know why I think this, but I feel like because he's engaged and not like married already or something, he's got other shit on his mind. You know, like I remember being engaged and like people are like throwing shit at you, and like she's probably like, what do you think of this napkin? What do you think of that napkin? Should we get matchbooks? People don't smoke, but maybe they want a cigar. You know, like all these fucking things that he doesn't need to know about, she's probably fucking bothering him with. So like I want him just to get married and like just knock her up, and then like he'll be pitching probably a lot better. You know, this is how this mind works, friends. And I'm getting beat up in the comments by Ralph and then other motherfucker Tim. I see you guys. I see what you're saying. Just so you know, I'm paying attention. Some of it is very funny. And Ralph, I am sorry I make things creepy. It's just the way I am. And if you think I'm creepy, don't ever meet Wally Money, because that guy is fucking creepy.
So Ralph has said like 3 times in the comments, MSS wants to talk porn right now. And he's right. He's been right every single time.
So my Sox summer, when you said, I remember being engaged, there's probably people throwing shit at you all the time. I like just imagine Mama Summer just throwing shit at you in the house.
Like a vase. Exactly. Like hurling a lamp at you.
Just being plates at your face.
I remember the biggest fight. It wasn't really a fight, but it was like, I want to get these chairs, and the chairs cost like $3,000 extra. And I'm like, absolutely not. Why the fuck would we spend this money on this? And it probably wasn't even that much. It was probably like $1,500 or something. But I was still like, that's ridiculous. I want to drink $1,500. I don't want to have a chair. And so like, I know like 2 years into the marriage or 3 years in the marriage, I was like, so how do you think the marriage would be if we would have had those nice chairs? And she's like, go fuck yourself. Like as soon as I said it, it's like, and then she laughed and I was right. But like, but it was an underhanded, dirty thing to say. I understand.
Absolutely terrible. You know, Treasy, this question about Keuchel, I was thinking about, I was like, you know, he's still kind of getting people out with the exception of this last start against the Twins. He got beat up pretty good, but the Twins are a good offense. But I was thinking like, there's no pitchers like this anymore. And the pitchers that were the extreme ground ballers that would have like, let's say sub 4, sub 5 strikeouts per 9, like the Rick Porcellos, they ain't got no jobs. They're not getting hired at all. So like he's a rarity in Major League Baseball right now as being one of these guys who just throws a lot of contact. You know, it's like a throwback era pitcher. And I just wonder if MLB at some point fucking decides there's not enough runs being scored and they switch out the balls again, like they do every once in a while, they play with the balls and they give it a juicy ball. I mean, Keuchel will be toast, right? I mean, like he's going to be in bad shape if they do.
I don't know, because you mentioned these other guys that throw ground balls, but Dallas Keuchel throws ground balls at a rate way above those guys.
True. That's true.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, because like, you know, you look at a guy like Gio Gonzalez. Gio Gonzalez threw a lot of ground balls too, and was able to strike guys out as well. But he threw a lot of ground balls, never at the rate that Keuchel throws ground balls. Right. He's a unicorn in that sense.
Right.
That said, like the juicy ball era didn't really affect him that much. Yeah, I think he had a bad year with the Braves during that era, but that's about it. I think he's good at throwing the ground ball. I don't think you can totally get by on that though anymore. Yeah. And it's both a combination of you'll mess up enough where someone's gonna be swinging for the fences and hit a home run or hit doubles off of you, and fielding like that era of pitcher, like no one could hit either. So your fielding was incredible. Like,
Right.
you know, like Ozzie Guillen was an incredible infielder and like wasn't even the best infielder in the league. You know, like you had Ozzie
Right.
Smith back then. Like, you
Right.
know, you had these guys that are just incredible fielders. That's a little bit less in this game because you got to hit too, right? Like so there's less of those guys.
Yeah, teams don't employ the Adam Everett style player who is no bat but all shortstop.
And Timmy's been great this year, right? But like Timmy's got some error in his game, and you don't care because he can hit, right? Yoan's got some error in his game, you know, whether it be a throwing error or whatever. Like he's been really good, other than on pop-ups, but like there's holes in these guys' games in the infield, right? And if you're going to rely solely on the ground ball, it's going to be rough.
Agreed. Well, that's it. Those are my small sample size players.
I like your really soft agreed because I can tell you like you talked way too fucking long about the same thing, Treasy. I get it.
No, I didn't. I was
fuck up, asshole. But
you know who's not gonna like that? Miss Loaf. She's gonna be like, "Don't repeat the same thing over and over." I mean, Treasy.
Mm-hmm. All right, this is going to be a more exciting, more fun part of the White Sox baseball talk. We're going to talk a little bit about the hype train. Who is your guy that's going to catch fire tomorrow? And my Sox Summer, I'm going to go to you first.
So here's why I don't like. I have a good little caveat, and here's why I don't like this. We've played two shitty teams in a row with questionable pitching, and every guy has been smashing. So when I'm going through my head in the lineup, I'm like, who's going to get hot? You know, it's like these guys got hot. Like first off, Yass. You know, you're like, oh, Yass might get hot. Fucking hit a home run the other night. You know, like he's trending that way. So I it's really hard for me. But a guy that I think that is probably going up and he's going to continue to go up and just blow the doors off is Jose Abreu. I think he's back, and I think his bats is going. He's got the defense going, as we said. All the other shit we already said. I think that's who I'm signing up. He's not going to be my caboose. He's going to be my engine. He is my engine for the hype train.
Beef.
I see right now in the comments, people are saying that I need to say Andrew Vaughn. I'm not saying Andrew Vaughn, okay? I do love the progression of an Andrew Vaughn, and I do love the hit, an absolute fucking bullet that never got higher than like 13 feet above the ground out of the ballpark. I mean, they measured at 436 feet, but if there was no wall there or anything, it was on such a line, it would have gone 700 feet. I mean, I guarantee it would have been on the goddamn expressway. It had gone.
And Beef, I don't think Vaughn's a good pick here. You know why?
Why?
Because he's already hot.
He's already hot. Exactly.
He's already hot.
Yes,
Yeah.
they all are.
You know, he's already hot. He's not getting hot tomorrow. He's hot now. He's comfortable in that human skin.
He got the elbow of the skin to bend better, and now he's finally doing it. Yeah.
He worked it all out.
Now, my guy actually hit a home run leading off the game today, and that's Tim Anderson. And like Tim Anderson has been sneaky okay so far this year. He hasn't been the player he's been in 2020 and 2019 where he tore the cover off the ball, right? He started out hot like that, and then he sort of faded back down, and he had an under 800 OPS coming into today. And then I would look in a little deeper, and it's like he has his highest strikeout rate of his career, almost 29%. I think Tim Anderson is going to start getting in the flow and really take over this offense and really push this thing. Like they always say, like he's the table setter or whatever, and he makes a difference here. And I'm thinking he hasn't really been that great the last however much amount of time, and the Sox are still kicking everyone's ass and scoring a bunch of runs. But now maybe he'll start coming back in here instead. And today he looked absolutely terrific. So I think Tim Anderson gets hot into June.
Oh, I love it.
I see.
That's a good freeze right there. I loved it.
I see Luke Taylor up there in the comments. He wants us to say Billy fucking Hamilton. And my friend, the guy almost hit the goddamn cycle yesterday.
He's already hot.
Hot. You see him make that catch today like Dwayne Wise, and then he did like a fucking Ron Santo jump and was like, whoa! And then he was nuts. He threw the ball backwards. That guy is fucking crazy right now. And I'm here for it. I love it. His hat, his helmet falls off quicker than Manny Ramirez's did when he had 8,000 dreadlocks on his head. As soon as Billy hits that first base, like that helmet is just flying off. It's awesome. It is awesome to see. It was awesome to see Luke going totally ape shit last night. Every time Billy Hamilton like scratched his nutsack, it was beautiful. So I want that to continue. So yes, he is hot and he is fucking smoking, folks. We're not even going to name him. Fuck that.
I love it. I've got like a few guys here that I'm just like, this guy might get hot. This guy might be pitching a 7-inning game this time, turning around. Like I've got a lot of these things brewing, and I hit on the Yasmani Grandal home run the other day, right? Like I got that one right.
You're damn right.
So I know I get 1 out of like 40 right. So I'm going to take one here that maybe won't affect us so much if I'm wrong. Tony La Russa is going to get hot.
Yes.
We've seen the Tony in a rut. He's had some rough games.
Yes,
right?
Yeah.
He's out of the gates, a little rough. And today, he's starting Jake Lamb at first. Not great, Tony. Not great. He's about to catch fire. He's about to catch fire. I think he's on the phone. He's on the phone with Rick Hahn right now. I know Lamb hit a home run today. Get him the fuck out of here.
You think part of him catching fire is they're going to get a mask big enough to cover his gigantic nose? Because more and more his mask is going down, and his big beak, like my big beak, has just been hanging out there. It's like Toucan Sam out there.
I think he's going to go Sean Payton and just pay the $100,000 fine and not wear the mask anymore. This is part of him catching fire. He's gonna go off the rails. He's not even gonna wear a hat anymore. He's gonna let that crazy ass hair. He's gonna look like Ern McCracken.
Let's get him Andy Reid. Let's get him the Andy Reid screen. We'll get the screen in front of him, right? And we might need the windshield wipers.
I don't want the Andy Reid feed bag that he was using in the playoffs. That was full of gummy bears.
That was I want that. Can I have that?
No, Tony's in his 70s. 76-year-old men are not supposed to eat gummy bears. You're right.
Yes, they are. Yes, they are.
But yeah,
you've lived that long.
Like, I feel like you're gonna start to see him do some things that you like, and you're gonna be like, oh, that was clever. That was a good move. Good. I like that you took that guy out in that inning. Like Beef last night. We were watching the game. We're kicking the shit out of the Twins, and the J.A. Happ came out, and I was like, he's got to replace Mendick at some point. He can't leave him out there with. I like Danny Mendick, but he's not going to hit right-handed pitching much, and he cannot throw from the outfield. You said it,
and I told you no way. I said Tony's just gonna let him play the whole game. Sure enough, he fucking pulled his ass.
And I loved it. I loved it. That's him just starting to percolate a little bit.
That's right.
And it's almost time for the percolator. Almost time.
Steve-O would love it. That's absolutely right.
That's a good pick.
So the next thing this is a little Beef Loaf question here to us, and we can answer it. But he wants to know who comes back first: Adam Engel, Jace Fry, or Jimmy Hoffa.
I'm wondering. All right, I'm wondering because there'd been updates at Adam Engel. Let me set this up a little bit for you guys. There'd been updates for Adam Engel a month ago. He's going to be ready in 2 weeks. Then it was the next 2 weeks. Then there's a James Fegan tweet from yesterday that says La Russa thinks Adam Engel will be back, quote unquote, sometime this month. Again, they don't have a fucking clue when this guy is going to be back. It's like, remember the Henny Youngman joke about the doctor giving a guy 6 months to live? He couldn't pay his bill, get another 6 months. That's the joke. It keeps going with Adam Engel, right? That's the same goddamn shit all the time. I think he's hanging out at Orland Mazda with Treasy, but the guy can't get on the goddamn field. It reminds me, Treasy, of, remember, and this was not such a great time in Bridgeport, but the feds were looking for our man Richie Red, and they couldn't find him, but you and me and Mad Mex were driving down 31st Street, and we saw him walking around. So I don't know what the deal is with Adam Engel. Someone has got to get out there and find him. Now, Jace Fry, on the other hand, I did a Twitter search for Jace Fry this morning. Almost all the hits for Jace Fry were the shit from the Sox News Bot 5000. It was like, I think the Sox Bot News 5000 got stuck on the Jace Fry algorithm. And it's just kept circling through all the stuff. Like he's going to be a guest on our podcast. And like, you know, he doesn't believe in climate change or all the weird shit that goes through that thing. There's so many Jace Frys in the last like 3 days, but no real news. Like you go back a long time and there's nothing even talking about him. I feel like he's like embalmed and fluid, like the cogs in Minority Report. And he tried to tell LaRussa to get Evan Marshall's ass out of there, but LaRussa didn't listen fast enough, and it ended up blowing up his face. I don't know where any of these guys are.
So do you feel like the bot is feeling the algorithm and for some reason knows that Jace Fry is coming back and it's starting to like pump up the amount of Jace? Like there's some Jace Fry information that it's getting from the dark web that's like telling it like it's time.
No, I feel like people are searching for Jace Fry. There's nothing there. And it's realizing, I'll just put another Jace Fry because everyone's looking for these Jace Fry things. And there's no fucking real news. I haven't heard a thing. Have you guys heard even a peep from anybody on Jace Fry?
No. I just know they moved. I remember they moved him to the 60-day. That's the last time I heard from him.
He had a backiotomy before the season. And then you haven't heard shit the entire time from this guy.
We should ask Wally. He's probably staying at Wally's place.
Yeah.
That's true.
At least his mom. At least his mom.
So Beef, I think I'll tell you what. I think this is part of LaRussa heating up. He's going to be right about the fast healing of Adam Engel finally. He had the setback, but now he's going to heal fast from the setback.
Ooh, okay. All right.
We'll see him against the Yankees.
Ooh, I like it. I like that. I like that prediction. My Sock Summer, what say you?
I'm going to go with Engel too. And mostly on things that because what you've hit
over
on.
Hoffa?
I haven't. I mean, if we haven't heard from Hoffa yet, we know that we're probably not going to hear from him, but potentially not. Maybe we will. But no, I think that you just haven't heard anything about Jace. Like I can't pick him. Like I didn't even know he was still on the team. Be quite honest.
And I think there's just a lack of yes, I do. I like Minority Report. There's nothing wrong with that movie. Timothy, how dare you? Dare you challenge me? And yeah. Yes, Josh Nelson, I did see that Adam Engel ran sprints. We're trying to have fun here, right? You jerk. That's why I made it up like nothing happened. I saw the video of that, all right? God damn.
Josh, remember, Loaf has already said it. Anything that happened today doesn't count. Okay?
Throw it out.
Listen, you've been here the whole time. Jesus. Get it together, Nelson.
I'll be honest with you. It wouldn't shock me if some news report came out about they found where Jimmy Hoffa's body is, and it was before either of these motherfuckers came back. It just wouldn't surprise me because nothing. Engel, we got the longest runway ever for a guy. It's a hamstring injury. All right, and I get it. He's not like he's a fast guy, but he's a thick guy too. He's 6'2", probably 225 pounds or some shit like that, right? So it's hard for a guy who's built like a goddamn running back probably to come back from that sort of injury. So, I mean, I know you were on it early, Trees. You're like, I don't think they were all saying, oh, it's going to be a couple weeks. Fuck that. You thought it was going to be a while. And
it like I just thought when they said he's a fast healer, I just thought that was bullshit in general. But, Beef, do you think like that pipeline that got hacked, do you think it like dried up and then like Hoffa's body was just there? Is that like
you just never know. I mean, new information about stuff comes out all the time, and it's just random, right? You don't even know. And the movie, the Irishman, was kind of popular like a year ago or whatever. You just never know when some brand new shit or someone will come up with some bullshit claim that isn't even true, but it'll come back into the news somehow. Like I think that's more possible than these guys getting on the field.
Let's do it right here. We ate Jimmy Hoffa.
Delicious.
It was with some shrimp from Mars.
It was aged in the basement of Sullivan's, and when it closed down, we ate Jimmy Hoffa. All right, I don't know where I'm going now. It's off the rails. We're at the 1 hour and 8 minutes, so it's the 108 right now.
108 time.
I'm annihilated. All right, so here's something that I think this is our wheelhouse.
It's fun
right now. Is we're early in the season, but we're back in the ballpark.
You damn right.
So let's talk a little bit about being back in the ballpark and kind of what our thoughts are, likes, dislikes, just general observations of what's going on. And Beef, you've been asking all the questions tonight, so I will start with you, man. What do you give us some of the things that you're noticing about the park? And you know what? Let's do it this way. You go 1, My Suck Summer, then me. We'll just kind of swing around a few times with some likes and dislikes and whatnot.
That sounds good. So let me tell you something that is totally fucking back at the ballpark right now, boys. What is back is standing and cheering when the hitter has 2 strikes to possibly end an inning. That's back in a huge fucking way. People are getting up and they're like, let's go, man.
I don't know why My Suck Summer
Let's end this goddamn inning. Let's cheer our guy on. Let's go. That shit is way back and I love it.
I don't like it because I think it's a jinx. I think it's a jinx. Like I don't mind if you're sitting down and you're applauding. I just don't like standing up. I think it's too showboaty. Don't like it. I mean,
these players have had no one to play in front of for a fucking year. Stand up and cheer for this guy. He's at the most difficult part of his job.
That's right.
Cheer for him.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm not going to be that guy because I have it in me. So, but you guys do it. It's cool. It's cool.
You know what it is? He gets tired of standing up and standing down. It's probably hurts or something.
You know what it is? It's that heavy ass chain wallet.
It gets caught in the seat. It gets caught in the seat. Like, he can't get up. You know?
Rips your pants off. Like you get the last time you got up to clap when you're getting swole, strikes, your whole pants ripped off.
Treasy, when you're getting swole at the gym, you know you're a little sore by the time you get to the ballpark. You can't have all this standing up and sitting down like My Suck Summer. You know when he's over there flexing himself out. You know,
come on, I get up and down a lot. I do. You know, like hey, if
but not when it's important. Not when it's important. You know.
No, I do. I just don't think that my support. Just like I can't cause it with the jinx, you can't cause it. You can't will it with cheers. Okay, that's how I feel. Okay,
we're not willing it. We're showing encouragement. That's
okay, we're just supporting our guy.
Yeah,
you're choosing not to support your guy.
Yeah,
no, I support him.
No, you're being bullshit.
I'm just not standing
That's a half-ass.
I'll applaud, but I'm not standing up.
Nice golf clap, asshole. Let's hear what you like at the ballpark so we can shit all over it.
Be like funnel cake.
No, motherfucker.
Escalator.
You gotta don't besmirch, don't besmirch, whatever the fuck. Fucking funnel cake.
I'm sorry for besmirching you.
Yeah, I hate you. So the first thing that I want to say, like, here's a good like. I like the fact that we have no giveaways right now because it is a total stress-free thing. And as a guy that used to bring a backpack to every fucking game and now does not bring a backpack to every game, I have seen the light, my friends. I don't give a fuck anymore. I am not bringing it so that somebody can have some peanuts here. I will not be holding anybody's shit because there's nothing to hold. So it's very nice to like walk in, fucking know nothing. Don't even have to worry about it. Great. It's good time.
You know what you're doing. You know what you're doing. You're living like I live.
Yes,
I bring 100%. Almost nothing to the game, especially when it's warm out. I got my phone on me and a wallet and ID and my inhaler, and that's it. Yep. I got fucking nothing on me, because I like to live lean like that. You're getting a little experience. You're loving it, baby.
It's beautiful. Now, when it gets back to the like having to get some giveaways, that I can understand. Like, I mean, that maybe it'll be a little different.
I'm getting clobbered in the comments over.
It's good though. It's good.
I like that movie. Anytime I could see Tom Cruise's eyes get ripped out, I'm in.
Hey,
I'm all for it. How about you, Treasy?
We're gonna do a couple likes in a row.
Yeah,
right?
we're gonna swing around until we're done.
Are we doing likes? I got to do a like because I only got like one.
Oh, you do it. Just like do whatever you want. We'll go around. Do whatever you want.
Did you already do? You already did one like.
Right? No, I didn't do anything.
You didn't do one. So what are you worried about? You got one.
I just like that you like funnel cake. So
I'm gonna fucking shove a funnel cake up your. You know.
Oh man, that's my favorite.
I bet it is.
I hope Billy Wires is still listening.
You munch that shit with that juicy double.
Like funnel cakes up.
What rap song is that?
So you know what I love, guys. I love credit cards for everything.
Ooh, okay.
And I like even more that now I've got a push button tip our vendors, right? I'm 15% all day because that's as much as they let me tip. I love it and they love it. It's awesome. I'm just like I go credit card. I want when the vendors when the guys that come down the aisle come back, I need that credit card enabled, man. I need a credit card enabled. I will Apple Pay that shit. I'm ready. The fans are ready for it. We've shown that we're ready for it. I want to see it.
I have some information on that.
Oh, baby.
It is nothing that has been confirmed. It is nothing that I got from my best friend and my daughter's godfather, Brooks Boyer. But I did talk to a beer vendor, and I said, hey, I know that we've been talking a lot, and he's not very happy because they keep putting him in the 500 level, and he doesn't like that because he likes to watch the game, and you can't watch the game from the 500 level very good in a beer tub. So if anybody's listening, the guy that lives on my block wants to be downstairs, and I'm going to start advocating for it. Also, he told me, I go, what's going to happen when you can't, do the cash? And he goes, he's like, we have these things at Wrigley that we can swipe the card. So that they have that technology is available. I asked him, does it work well? He said, yes, it does. So, baby, I am 100%. This is going to happen. Now, the best part, he goes, the only thing I'm worried about, is I don't think that people are going to want to pass their credit card down the row. And I was like, no, trust me, people will 100% pass their card down the row. Yeah. I don't think anybody's going to fucking give two shits about that. So I think he's fine. Now, he said, you always bring cash, though. Still tip him in cash. Don't put it on the thing. Treasy, you also said 15% is the highest you can go. That is untrue. You can hit other amount, and you can write however much you fucking want to tip. Because they kept giving me these weird fucking, sometimes it'd be like 85 cents. And I'm like, I don't want to tip 85 cents. I want to tip $1 or whatever, you know? I just go into the other, and then I'll just put in like a buck of drink. Usually.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah, you can do that. I've been too lazy to do it. I just punched the 15.
Yeah, fast, it is nice. I wish I don't like that they have the 5%. Right, I think they should be 10, 15, 20. I think that would be much easier. And guys, I'm having a lot of drinks. I can't type a lot of shit. There's people in line. I'm not trying to hold this line, but no, I love the idea of the credit card all over the place, guys. I have been for the past, I don't know, like 2 or 3 months,
8 minutes.
I've had $1 in my wallet. That's it. It is not.
I'll still rob you for that $1.
It's not stopping me from doing anything.
I will still whoop your ass and steal that $1.
I love it. Like I want a cashless world. Money's disgusting.
Absolutely.
Loaf, what do you got? Another like?
I do. I do have another like. Something else that I'm enjoying is random fan encounters. They're still happening, even with the little bit of spacing. We got masks and stuff. On Tuesday night, there was a guy who was sitting kind of almost kitty corner from us, about 3 or 4 rows back on the other side. He saw the tweet that Treasy and I constructed that I tweeted out from my account of Yerman and Williams Estadio together. He's like, dude, this tweet's blowing up. Who are you guys? Like, you're talking to us or whatever. And so we did a little follow back on Twitter, and they were doing some fist bumps with some of the action that was going on in the game. It's like, this is great. I love the random interaction with someone who's fun. A lot of times you get drunk fans, and not drunk like fun like us, but drunk like messy and screaming and yelling and not fun fans. But White Sox fans overwhelmingly lean to the fun side. So it's nice to have these little random interactions, talk a little shit with them, and have a good time. So I'm over my head in excitement with these kind of interactions.
Yeah, no, 100%. That is dope. And like I've heard multiple times recently, I've been on most recently was Justin Green Eyed Soup. He goes, I've been on Twitter since 2012, and I've only known about you guys for the last 2 years. And I'm like, well, that's your fault, brother. Like, I mean, what the fuck? We've been busting our ass for like almost 6 years. Like, you should know us. And then another guy said that too. That I bought a hat from. He's like, dude, I've only been following you guys for like 2 years. I fucking love it. Blah blah blah. I'm gonna stop tooting our own horn.
No. So my Sox summer, there was a good one. Me and Beef were sitting there, and someone came by, and they were like, it was like Luke or someone, and they're like, hey, or Berkland, I think it was. He's like, you guys doing the soak this weekend? And we're like, yeah, blah, blah, blah. And this guy behind us was like, hey, are you guys the 108 guys? And we're like, yeah. And he's like, yeah, I'm a big like White Sox Dave fan. And I found you guys through them. I was just telling my girlfriend, I think those are the hot tub guys.
Yes.
And he's like, then I heard that you are the hot tub guys. And so I thought I'd say hi.
He introduced himself. That was cool. Yeah, it was fun.
It's just got to be like, those guys are really fat. Why are people watch them in a hot tub? No, so one of the big likes that I had, and I've been talking about this at length with anybody that will listen to me, is that I am loving the experience right now at the ballpark, which is going to change because we now are going to 60%. But like, it's
Drink
it up.
It's like going to the games like during a like the rebuilding years, but the team's actually good because there's like no lines in the bathroom. There's very few lines when you go to get a beer, especially because they keep opening more stuff, which is helpful. Nice. And so it's just been like really, really awesome. And then that's like, that's one thing I was telling Kier the other night, K-Dog, Matt Ramsey. I was telling him that, I was just like, this is everything about this is fucking awesome. It's just like, and under my back of my head, I'm like, and it's gonna go away, and so I need to enjoy this, and now it's going away. So, but it's like it's still gonna be fun, but like I say, right now it's like it's peak because, and it was a good kickback for the guys that have been there, the season ticket holders, and like everybody, like to get these few weeks, months in, a couple homestands in, so that we could experience it good before like it potentially gets bad. So, it's like,
I feel like you're right about this, my Sock Summer. It's allowing us, like the old timers who've been going a lot of games and stuff, to ramp up into what's going to be fucking hysteria by the middle of the summer.
Easing into it. Yeah.
Easing into it, right?
Yeah.
Doing it the way we had been doing it, and we're kind of going to ease into when it's going to be wild as shit.
Yep.
I agree. How about you, Treasy? What you got?
So I got a dislike here.
Ooh.
The hero of the game is not at the park. Which is, it's awkward because like you're like cheering for someone who's not there, right? Like I love when it's like, like when they got the guy he's 85 years old and he's been in like 6 wars and just like he's done all the craziest shit that you could ever imagine in your whole life, and you get to cheer for this dude, and he's in his old school military uniform, and he's just excited to be there and like bask in all of the applause, right? I love that. Like I like it for the guy. Like you can have feelings on the overall thing, right? Because like I'm sure they're getting money to do this. It's an advertisement, right? But like at the same time, like that dude is feeling really good, and like you're able to thank this guy for his service and cheer him, right? You can't have that now. And like,
that's right.
And it's like the other night, it was like some guy's like, oh, he was on a crew that found landmines, and like it's like I want to cheer for that guy in person. Like I want to see that. Give him a fucking suite if it's a COVID thing. Like the guy that looked for landmines, he deserves the suite. All right,
he does deserve the suite.
Like I don't get it. Like so, like let's put a little effort into this, Sox. All right, like even if none of the other teams are doing this, be the first to bring the guy in the stadium or the lady and put her in the suite and have a great game and enjoy people cheering for you because you looked for landmines in the middle of a desert.
Right.
Like fuck, that's a terrible job. Someone should cheer for that person.
Yeah, agreed.
And I'm going to nominate the first person that should be the first vet back, and it's Military Phil from Salon, Iowa. Good friends with the Jason Wolfskin.
It's not Salon. Oh, Josh Nelson, let me tell you something. Treasy does clap hard, okay? He's got big hands like Shaquille O'Neal, and he claps the shit out of them hands whenever he's clapping, all right? So don't worry. He's clapping hard enough for the vet. It's just we'd like to have the vet enjoy all the aura of what's going on at the stadium, man, which I see nothing wrong with.
He does claps with his juicy double. That's what he claps.
That's what we clap. It's like bongo. Bongos behind him with juicy double.
That's how I got the clap.
Like, ooh, yeah.
All right, I got something that I
dislike or like.
I'm dislike. I'm disheartened about this.
Let's do it.
And I wrote a fucking blog about it, so you all must drink right now.
Have a drink.
It is. I hate how flaccid the split the pot has become since there's nobody walking around selling tickets. I took a picture the other night. I think it was in the 3rd inning, and the pot for the split the pot was $146 fucking dollars.
Oh my god!
Are you kidding? No one is interested in trying to win half of that. No one cares, right? And I wrote a blog about some solutions. I think Jason Benetti, one of my solutions is Jason Benetti should have to buy the first $1,000 worth of fucking tickets. All right. Get Jason's money in there because he'll be talking about it. Stoney will be talking about it, and people will be able to buy it online. I think we need to make kind of a push for this. They need to put kiosks in the stadium to sell these split the pot. This is for charity, right? And
put it on the fucking thing when we buy a beer.
That's right. Yeah, exactly. Put it on there and let you punch that button that says other, Treasy. $5 worth of raffle tickets. That's what it should be. And it kicks you off $5 worth of tickets. We got to improve this because part of the experience is the degenerate experience of like, it's the 6th inning. You're bombed out of your fucking mind. You look at the scoreboard and you're like, oh shit, man, split the pot $7,000. Give me $50 worth of tickets. You're not going to win, but so what? At least you were in on it. You got a chance to be part of the fun right there. And I got, after I wrote the blog, people were reaching out from other states saying, you can't buy from other states. And Mark Hope even reached out to me and he said, Beef, let's create, he goes, let's do a interstate fraud. Let me send you some money via Venmo and you can buy tickets for me. I just can't wait.
Rule number 1 of a fraud, don't talk about it. God damn it. I mean, Jesus. Is my Italian showing? We don't talk about these things. Like, let's just do it. No, you're right. And I actually sent your blog to one of the girls who works for Sox Charities, and she fucking loved it. She was like, "This is great." She's like, "I'm just happy that people are thinking about it." And I think last night it was $1,200, almost $1,200. So it's getting there. I feel like it's a Braves bat. As it warms up, it will get bigger. So yeah, we're gonna be okay.
I think I got to buy some tickets and promote that I bought some tickets. Maybe I'll start to push a low key from the fans. We'll start buying some tickets together. Maybe we could get this pot going a little bit.
Yeah. All right. That sounds good. Hey, one of my dislikes is I like this thing. Something that's happened probably about, I don't know, I've been there for 4 of them, is when the fucking goddamn fan who catches an opposing team's home run ball, which Sharizi has wrote a blog about this, throws it fucking back on the field. Now, the biggest thing that irks me about this is that you have White Sox fans that you would think, because it kind of, most of them are, run-of-the-mill White Sox fans, totally dislike Cubs and anything Cubs related. And one of the biggest fucking things those motherfuckers do on the north side, toss that ball back, right?
Yep.
So, like, why are we guilting people into throwing the ball back and being like our fucking older brother on the north side? Let's just stop this shit. Now, the saving grace is you get kicked out if you throw the ball back on the field. So that's kind of cool. Like me watching other people fight, I like watching somebody get kicked out for doing something stupid, but there's plenty of kids still that are there. Toss the ball to the kid. Toss the ball to like somebody else that might appreciate it. Don't fucking throw that shit back on the field. It's stupid, and you look like a jagaloon, okay? So let's stop doing that.
So that leads into something I've liked my Sox summer is you mentioned giving the ball to the kid, right? Like, there's a kid near you, you caught it, give it to that kid. That's going to make that kid's day, right?
Yeah.
There's a togetherness in the park that I have not seen in a long time recently. And it was last night, Beef, you were there with me.
Yeah.
We're sitting there and there's a couple kids. I think they're Bridgeport kids. It seemed like they were Bridgeport kids.
Yeah, they were Bridgeport kids. Yep.
Did they say fuck a lot?
They were really,
no.
really nice kids. And so they got some balls from the guys in the bullpen. They must have been there for like batting practice. They got this kid had a hoodie on, and his front pouch of the hoodie was like filled with baseballs.
Yes.
Right? What does this kid do in like, what was it, like the 7th or 8th inning, Beef?
Yeah.
He just starts giving baseballs away, just throwing them to people in the crowd. It's who wants a baseball? He's throwing it all over the place. What's funny is it's like a 12-year-old kid, right? Yep. And there's like 40-year-old grown men like, oh, baseball, and like the 12-year-old kids. It was awesome. I loved it. Like,
it was fun,
like this is some shit that I was like, I've never seen this in the park.
Yeah,
like I've seen, like, the night before I saw someone throw a baseball up to a young lady and she dropped it and like some dude swooped in and grabbed it. Like, I'm used to that.
Right.
What I'm not used to is some kid going like, you know what? I got a bunch of baseballs. What am I going to do with this shit? But it's going to make a bunch of other people happy, and I'm just going to throw baseballs around because it's fun.
Yeah, it was cool.
It was awesome. That's what I want to see more of, and what we're starting to see. It's crazy. Like, people are nice to each other because they haven't fucking seen people in so long that they're like, I'm happy to see people. I think that's been, to me, kind of one of my favorite things is like there's a different togetherness of Sox fans other than in the section where my Sox summer saw them fighting.
It was away from us, though. That's where all the people that want to spend a little bit more money on tickets are, and them are probably angry people just in general.
Another thing that I dislike, and Treasy got to experience this with me last night, is there were some 20-something guys and girls kind of back of us a little bit, and they were trying to razz Kyle Garlick on the Twins, and they were doing an absolutely horrible job. Now, I have no problem with razzing opposing players and having a little fun with that stuff, but when you go through like 30 or 40 iterations and they all fucking suck, just shut the fuck up. You're done. You tried and you just didn't make it. All right. A little bit of creativity would help. Maybe you got to get drunker. I don't know. But when you go for 2 innings and they're like trying to think of stuff and they're yelling all random stuff, and I wanted to boo them. I wanted to turn around and boo their poor performance of doing it because they have so much potential.
Beef, I had this too. I just had creativity is low.
We've been caged up for a long time. That's why. That's why
I thought like you saved up all the good material you thought of throughout the whole year, and now you're back in the park and you're just zinger after zinger. No, Garlic. You smell like shit. Like,
you know what it was? It was George Costanza Jerk Store. That's all they could come up with. That was it. That's how bad it was. It was terrible.
And you know what? It wasn't even his fault. He made a play on a ball. It was the people after him that fucked it all up.
Yeah, but I'm more talking about the resin.
Not even. This is the night after. He didn't even do anything.
Oh no, that's what I'm saying. It was
they're just yelling at him
random.
Oh, just incoherently. They weren't even saying, "Oh, hey, good job last night, Garlic."
No. And what was mind blowing to me was then Adam Eaton came out and they're yelling at Adam Eaton. Now, mostly like just random things, not negative, but like also not like the one young lady was yelling, "I love you," Adam Eaton, which was nice.
Yeah.
But,
yeah.
Like the one guy was like,
I almost believed her. It might have been true.
The one guy was just like trying to talk to him in a shout. It was weird.
He was wanting to have a conversation with Adam Eaton.
I was kind of like,
it's working right now. Like
you could just sit and not say anything. Like,
what are you doing later?
We're
want to get some wings.
I know Lawrence
is open.
It wasn't even that interesting.
Exactly.
It was like nice glove.
Yeah,
like
it was not.
It was like when you're at like a business thing or something, and you're sitting at the table and you're like, well, I got to talk about something. You know, like let's just go with some awkward conversation. They were having awkward conversations shouted to Adam Eaton, who's not even paying attention to him.
Right. And no, Bruhan Luke, it was not Steve-O. If it was Steve-O, we would body bag Steve-O here. He didn't say anything about it.
Oh, wow. You're going to kill Steve-O? Don't kill Steve-O. He's little. He's little and light. You don't want to fuck with him. No, I had that also. There's a lot of excitement in the park and that people are really thirsty and they like it. And it goes along with your standing up and cheering for the two things and jinxing people.
You son of a bitch.
And people are enjoying the ballpark experience, which I think is great. Like I was like literally going to steal that person's popcorn yesterday because they left it unattended for like 15 minutes. And then they came back with like a slice of pizza and like some cotton candy and something else. And it was just two people. And I was very proud of them. But then they were sitting there just like enjoying it because it's like, fuck, we haven't been outside. We can't like go anywhere without a mask. And there's like nobody around us. So let's just sit here and just like stuff ourselves and watch baseball. And I was like, that's perfect. Like as I'm like polishing off like Pipeworks gummies or pineapple gummies. But yeah, and the one thing I don't like is the guy from ESPN 1000 today that said that he does not like the hip hop music that they play at the games, and they should play the games for the music for the people that are there. And I'll say this.
That was Fred Hubner who tweeted that. Fred Hubner tweeted that out.
Now, was he being funny? He
I don't know.
Funny, right?
I have no idea.
So he tweets this thing. He tweets the thing. He's like, when will they stop playing hip hop that nobody knows, and then and play music for people that are there? So Fred, first off, what the fuck does that mean? Because maybe it was I wasn't there today.
Here's
was
how
it
I
all
would
retired white people there today.
Here's how I would take it, my Sox. We're on the south side of Chicago. He wants all house music. That's what he's
Yeah.
asking. He wants all house
could
I'm
be.
sure that's
Could
what he
be.
meant.
I'm
what it
absolutely
was,
sure
yeah.
that's what he meant.
Well, what's funny is that the hip hop selections from the Sox are not anything recent. Like it's stuff like they've been playing like they play Biggie Smalls, the Notorious B.I.G. He's been dead longer than half of the kids that are there dancing to it. You know what I mean? It's just like it's not like, oh, they're playing the goddamn Percolator, which is old as me. So like it's just not. They're
No,
not
that's
like
the
playing
house music that Fred wants. He wants
right.
more.
They're
of
not
that.
playing.
Let's go old school.
They're not playing new.
It's weird though. Like my Sox Summer saying, we're in our 40s already, right? We grew up with hip hop. In fact, hip hop's older than us. So the generation a little bit older than us in their 50s right now, they know hip hop. They listen to hip hop growing up. Like, who the fuck are the people that don't know or are aware of hip hop? Maybe you don't like it. That's fine. I don't like country music, very much. But I don't care if they play some country music. That's fine by me. Why would I give a shit?
Right. Well, and it just came off very bad. Like, and I'll say this on most of the weeknight games, it's a lot of young kids out there. And when you show kids like on the screen, like fan cam, they're fucking getting down to that fucking DJ, man. I feel like and this is, I'm sure Ralph is going to love this. I think we're about 4 games away from some chick showing her tits on the big screen. I think that's about where we're at. We're one good drinking Saturday game, and some chick's just going to flash them titties right up there on the big screen. So that's what's going to happen. So enjoy that, Ralph. I knew it was you're probably going to enjoy it.
So I'll end this with an observation that I've had.
I like it.
We've been to a bunch of games now, and Beef, when we're in the seats, we're spaced from people, and I'm pretty much mask off because we're having beers and stuff like that. But obviously, when I go up into the crowd and everything, I've got the mask on. When I go to the bathroom, I go to the stands, I'm masked up. I am seeing people that I could tell did not wear a fucking mask the entire pandemic. Because they get up to the vendor and they're about to talk, so they lean in and then they pull down the mask and tell them what they want. And I'm like, how the fuck do you think that that's the way you do this?
Yeah.
Like, did you land on this planet today? Like, unfucking real. It's like I've seen it like 5 times too. And
why does everything Treasy say go back to aliens? Why does he always go aliens?
You know what? Because I don't have another explanation. It's I'm like the guys on Ancient Aliens, where I'm just like, how did they build this huge thing? I don't know. Must be fucking aliens, because there's no other explanation why you would do that. Why you would go like, you know what? It's a pandemic. Mask down to talk to this person an inch from my face.
That's the thing that's been going on the whole pandemic, though. They're like, let me get this thing out of my way.
I ain't been out, so I don't know.
Ah, fuck you, dude. Don't do that. No, it's on TV. Like, even March Madness, they would pull their mask down to yell at the ref. It's like, no, you put the mask up to yell at the ref.
Exactly.
You don't need to do it the opposite way. Like, the whole thing is you're stopping the projectile. It's like a condom. It's a mouth condom, and it's stopping it.
That's right.
You want to fill that reservoir tip with all the dirty germs and all that shit, and just keep it inside. So, yeah.
Dirty reservoir.
Oh my god. Speaking of dirty reservoir. Well, no,
Listen,
not speaking of that. My Sox Summer. Let's pay.
It's going to be short and sweet, folks. If you order something this week from our store, we have plenty of merchandise featuring this new 1990s logo. So if you want to come in, I got the softball shirts, I got the trucker caps, I got the men's tank tops, I got the women's tank tops. I have women's t-shirts. I also have not a shitload, but I have a good amount of sweatshirts left. But anyone that orders like anything, I'm fucking throwing a free sticker in there. All right. It's probably not going to be a 108 OG sticker because I only got about 30 of them left. But I got all sorts of different stickers I could throw in there. I got the 80s mascots. You probably know them. That Ribby and Rhubarb. I got them. I got the Jersey Demolition sticker. Yeah, I got that. I got the Slay 108er. I'll throw one of them motherfuckers right up in your order. So you just make an order. I will put it in there and send it right off to you. Most days I do it same day. Might not happen this weekend because I'm preparing to get blasted tomorrow. So don't look for anything to get shipped tomorrow. But yeah, free shipping. Or not free shipping. Free sticker. if you buy something.
Almost teased free shipping, but free sticker.
Listen, I was gonna do
almost went too far.
a legit deal I was gonna do, and then I had to check stock, and I was gonna do a trucker cap, a softball jersey combo. We ain't got enough trucker caps, man. Like we've been selling those motherfuckers those like a fucking flying. Like those are just flying. Yeah, so like if awesome. You want a trucker cap, you might want to do it. Plus you get a free sticker. So now is the time, motherfuckers. Now is the time.
Fellas.
Oh yes.
We're bringing it back, man. We're bringing something back. And if you were here for the baseball talk, the baseball talk's over.
It's over.
You know what time it is? It's time for last call. All right.
Yes.
If you've never seen this, if you're new to the show, if you've never seen us do last call, My Sock Summer disappears.
I got you. I got you.
I got to
take a piss.
Shut up, My Sock Summer. We'll body you while you're gone. All right.
So what we do for last call is, for last call, we come up each with a question for the group. It's a lot like Three Things, where we're just going to ask a random ass question. Sometimes we try to get pretty deep on things. Sometimes we just ask something that we think will be hilarious. And so I will let Beefloaf go first. I will answer it. And then My Sock Summer will come back, and regardless of if he heard the question or not, he will go on some weird tangent and probably talk about California.
And pornography, because in the comments they believe he wants to talk porn, and he hasn't really gotten in there on it yet. A little bit. He's been talking about reservoirs and different things, but hasn't gone straight pornography yet.
So Beef, lay it on me, man.
All right, my question for you, Treasy, and this is. I went through a few different iterations, but this is just something that's kind of bugging me, and I don't understand it, and there's got to be some other story behind this. So, allegedly, 8 Yankees, players, coaches, etc., who supposedly were vaccinated. The team was like 90% vaccinated from COVID-19. 8 of these people have contracted COVID-19 recently. And I think Gleyber Torres is like the biggest name, but there's been a bunch of these folks. So let's say 8 out of like 50 on-field people potentially have contracted COVID-19. So I want to hear what conspiracy theory you might have about how the hell this can happen. Because when the vaccines are supposed to be, let's say they're 80%, that would create a lot of contagion, you would think, amongst the team. And like if there was a 1 or 2 person got COVID, that seems fine. But 8? How the fuck is there 8? Treasy, what's happening here?
Well, first of all, your contagion is no higher than the common clod.
But I'm aware.
if anyone gets that reference, I want you to drop it in the comments. Like, if you know that reference, I want to hear about it, because we will become best friends immediately. Right. But Beef, so many conspiracy theories running through my head right now. So one, they did not give them the vaccine. They gave them some bullshit. It was just a placebo. But more interestingly, I want to go this route. I want to say that doing human growth hormone eliminates the effects of the vaccine. Like, those two things combined, HGH cancels it out.
Yeah.
And so your body doesn't build up the immunity. The HGH just kicks that shit out immediately. And so you don't get the benefits of it, because your RNA has already been rewritten by whatever the fuck you're putting into your body. So it's all fucked up. It's not going to get there. So that's my conspiracy theory, that these guys are all HGH'd up, and that's why the shit didn't work for them, and now they all got COVID. And you know what? Fuck the Yankees.
My Sock Summer, how about you? What do you think? Why are all these guys getting COVID from the Yankees when they supposedly had the vaccination?
I wonder, and I wonder what, because I don't know. What is the penalty if the guy gets COVID versus he's hurt? Like, is he like, is he not like on the IL?
You're on the IL.
Okay, so it's the same penalty if he's got the COVID.
It's not a penalty. It's like you gotta You got to not have COVID.
Don't infect the other ones is the penalty.
Yeah.
So, but can you bring somebody up and it not like hurt their chances to like go back if it's replacing a guy that has COVID versus a guy that's injured?
It's the same. It's the same as
all
any
the same.
injury.
Yeah,
it's all the same.
Yeah, he broke his leg. He has COVID. It's the same. It's the same mechanics of the roster.
Yeah. Well, I was just making sure because I didn't know if there was a special thing. So I only got one response.
Question. I just wanted to.
Yeah. I thought you were trying to make me look stupid again, and I didn't appreciate it. And we're gonna fight. I'm kidding. I don't think you were doing that. No, I'm just gonna go with there's only one solution. Fucking aliens, bro. That's what it is. It's probably aliens. Aliens fucking these people. That's what it is. And
in the hollow moon.
Yep. Oh, or in the harvest moon. Maybe they're fucking them in the harvest moon. Who knows?
The real answer is probably that they contracted it before it takes a while to build up the immunity. They probably contracted it before that. That's the best guess because there's not been many breakthrough cases. Like if you look at the breakthrough cases, even in Chicago, it's like 6 out of 10,000, right? Like so, like it's really low. So it's got to either be like they got it before the time was up, like the 14 days or whatever that they recommend. Like they probably caught it in there and kind of spread it through the clubhouse, or as my Sex Summer said, probably aliens. So I'm gonna go with aliens.
I mean, some of my thinking, Treasy, was maybe a bunch of these people did not get vaccinated, and maybe MLB is fucking bullshitting about what percentage of players and coaches are getting vaccinated, because
that could be true too.
That's an easy lie, right? Let's say only 40% of your players are getting vaccinated. Who the fuck is going to check that? And like, they want to put on a good face. They want to show, hey, yeah, exactly.
I love it, Jose.
The COVID shots were all Mets fans. Jose is probably right. That's probably exactly what it was. So
that's awesome. I love that.
Comments,
that was good.
The comments are better than anything.
That was really good.
The comment answers are absolutely tremendous. White Sox style saying the vaccine was supplied by Nino Brown. Terrific.
That's awesome.
Well, I think a lot.
Oh, go ahead.
I think maybe the actual amount of people getting vaccinated in MLB is much lower than what they're saying. And they're just trying to put on a good face because they want all the fans to get vaccinated, right? They want to be the example. So they want their fans to get vaccinated, and they want to have people in the ballpark. And I think that maybe that's what it is. Maybe they're just like putting on a good face, and the players are like, fuck it. We're young. We're in great shape. We're not people who we think, need the vaccination. So it looks curious is all I'm saying.
I like this comment. This is actually probably along the lines of what could have happened. Like this one makes sense. I'm still going with aliens. I'm sorry.
Yeah. So
no, I
just to read the comment. I just want to read
like,
the comment for people listening on the podcast. It's from someone called Basshead and says, as an RN, I'm suspicious the vaccine was stored or transported properly or something. So many things have to go right in the vaccine chain for it to work. So it's possible, that's a great call. It's possible they got a batch that just wasn't treated correctly, and it didn't work.
Especially because they diverted this, right? They diverted this to go to these teams. So like, I feel like that's actually it's almost a conspiracy theory, but it's actually feels
probably true.
Very good.
Could be true. Yeah, exactly.
It reminds me of two things. The first thing it reminds me of is the Ryan Braun drug test that he got out of because it wasn't transported correctly.
Yeah.
And then the second thing it reminds me of is when they take the sugar-free yogurt in Seinfeld to go get tested, and they're like, no, it can't melt. It can't melt. It needs to be there. And then when they get to the lab, they're like, so hey, we got to hear it's not melted. And he's like, yeah, it doesn't matter if it's melted or not. It's like both those things come into my head. So yeah.
All right. So Beef, great question. Enjoyed it.
Baby. Appreciate
answer
that.
is aliens. My Stock Summer, great answer. And now I ask you to lay a question on us.
Did you do yours already? Or are you going last?
Not do it. Do you want me to go next?
Why don't you go next?
Yeah, you go next.
I'll go Summer go last.
So we're gonna get a little deep with mine. All right, guys.
I like it. Let's do it.
So
tell me deep like the ocean.
Tell me about like a book or a concert or a song or a movie or something like that actually changed the way that you think about something.
Wow.
Beef, I'll go to you first because I feel like you read a lot of books like this.
Okay, so I think probably I have a list of books that are super important to me in the way I view the world, I guess, right now. And maybe my number one in how to look at the world in general and how to think about yourself and the level of serendipity that happens in your life and the amount of luck, things that you can't control that occur in your life, is a book called Fooled by Randomness by Nassim Taleb. And it really just sort of lays out probabilistically how life works and how you could be really good at something and never kind of reap the benefits. And you could be just a lucky asshole and really believe in your skills in something that you don't really even have. So I kind of like books like that. I like that book. I mean, another book that I guess I'll give a second answer for this. Another book that helped me understand sort of gambling, Treasy, when we got into the gambling and we did well for ourselves when we were doing that, is a book called Fortune's Formula. It talks a lot about Ed Thorpe, who was like an original, he was a guy who worked on card counting before anyone was doing card counting and stuff. And then it talked about like Michael Milken and the junk bond traders and just different. And it really laid out like how people make a profit doing something, right? How to find the edge, how to gain the edge in something. If you listen to stuff about, yes, I'm sorry, White Sox Sal, serendipity is mentioned in the podcast. It should be, right? It helps you lay out like and understand how does someone gain an edge at something. Because usually people out there in any field do not tell you that part. They never want to share how to gain the edge in whatever specific thing it is. They'll tell you all the tertiary bullshit around it that sounds good and in kind of every field, but they never really show you where the gravy is. Like, I'm sure My Sox Summer, if we didn't have the cameras rolling, could tell us 5 easy ways to make money, doing eBay stuff. He would never put that shit on an open forum. And it's kind of rare to like hear that. And a book like Fortune's Formula kind of does lay out all that shit. It's very interesting.
I like both of those answers. It's awesome. My Sox Summer. What do you got?
I'm not going to go as deep as Loaf here, but I like when you said movie and like, cause I've seen a lot of concerts and I've had a lot of things, but I don't think nothing really changed like my thought, or how I'm going to live my life. Like, I think I've always lived my life the same, but I would think that a movie that really kind of like struck me, and it's people might laugh at it, but it was Swingers. It was because it was like the anti-hero kind of becoming the hero, and also seeing somebody that was just awkward as fuck, like most people are, like get out there, get over something that was like seemed insurmountable, like a huge breakup, and then you're also like you're in a new place, like, and you're not succeeding, you're not getting a job, you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing, but yet it's still better than where you were. So like it's pushing you forward into something more. Like, and you're like, things are gonna start happening, but like you're in the suck. So like a lot of times, but the suck is still fun because you're playing like Sega Genesis hockey over at some guy's house, and it's a ball. Like it was the most normal movie that I think I ever saw, and I was just like, yes,
I like that.
This is like what we do.
It makes you appreciate the journey, right? I mean, like, you're not there yet, but like you should still enjoy the ride, right? Like there's things to appreciate while you're on that journey.
100%.
On Swingers, My Sox Summer, I still go back and watch the scene in the apartment where Ron Livingston is talking to Jon Favreau's character. And he's saying, don't say we didn't make it. We made it, and he's kind of really understanding what it's about. Like, he's laying it out for you. Like, you always look at all the shit that you haven't accomplished yet, and you don't look at how well you've actually done. And people, I don't think, often go back and smell the rose and say, holy shit, I really did some shit here. They're always kind of looking for that next thing. And you really should cherish what, like Tracy said, you enjoy the journey. Enjoy the journey that's around.
And it's not to say that you should stop. Like, you shouldn't sit there and go, oh, okay, well, I've done this and now I'm okay, and like everyone should just admire me. No, you should find new ways to challenge yourself and keep moving the direction forward. But it doesn't have to be in an upward motion. It can be in a linear path too. Like, just enjoy it. Like, and I think that was, like, I don't think the movie's that deep, but it definitely just reminds you, hey, look at, like, it is a Midwest kid that lived out west. I don't know if you guys know that I used to live out on the West Coast, but like to like be in a February putting on jeans and a light jacket, like that was dope. Like, and that was just so much fun. You're like, man, it snowed 2 foot back in Sterling last night. I don't have to even like turn on the air conditioner in my car. I can just roll down the window. It's beautiful. You know, like that was like the simple pleasures, very simple pleasures.
Side note to that movie, I heard Tim Ferriss's podcast. He had Vince Vaughn on there, and Vince Vaughn shared an anecdote. He said that when they were pitching that movie, when they were trying to make it, that one of the groups that wanted to make it wanted them to remove the swing music that they had been listening to and put grunge rock in there. And they're like, no, that's going to destroy everything. This is the shit that we actually go out to these clubs and hear. This is the local music that's going on. This is part of this scene, you know. And it was like, it would have ruined the efficacy of this film if they would have done that.
Beef, that leads in perfectly to mine.
Beautiful.
So I will take you back to a 16-year-old Chirizi in 1996, and my buddy tells me, dude, you got to come to this concert with me. We're gonna go see the Jesus Lizard. And I didn't know who the fuck the Jesus Lizard was. Right. And you're 16 years old, you've heard what's on the radio, you know, maybe your parents listen to good music, and so you've heard some good music around the house. You know what your buddies listen to, right? And so I end up going to see the Jesus Lizard, which, if you've never seen them, it is a maniacal show. Like, it, first of all, the music's great, right? But the music is not something you would ever hear on the radio, right? And then it's also like David Yao is like one of the craziest frontmen of all time. And I remember I was 16 years old. We're at the Metro. It's an all ages show, and this guy ends up like basically naked during the show and diving into the crowd. And like, I just remember seeing his hand was all taped up because like he was wearing his wedding band, but taped around it because he knew he was going to spend so much time in the crowd that he just didn't want it to get ripped off. Right. And like, I'm watching this and I'm just kind of thinking to myself, like, I would never hear about this unless I was here. Right. Like, this is not, there's not going to be one of the local radio stations talking about this. This isn't going to be, in some newspaper or something like, oh, you should have been at that show last night. Absolutely not. Like, there's not a good access to this. And I think that's really when I started to go like, yeah, I mean, like, I like the stuff on the radio just fine, but that's not enough. Like, I need to go seek out other things. I need to go find things myself. I need to live in these venues and see all these shows because I want to find these bands because they're so good and it's so different than anything that I've ever seen. Like, it was just it became like an addiction to me to like just go to all these shows and try and find as many cool bands as I could, because like the show that someone could put on when they have no money, and like it's you buy a $5 record from this dude and he is very appreciative because he's getting to the next town on it. Those became like everything that I needed to go to. I needed to see that all the time. And it really changed the way that I ingested media all across the board. And what's funny is it comes back to My Sock Summer's answer of swingers, because Beef, I remember when that movie came out, we saw that in the theater of a tiny ass theater.
We saw it at Piper's because Piper's was the only place in the city that would show it. No, it was not in any of the other theaters.
But it was one of those things like we had, you, myself, Dr. Feelgood, we had all kind of changed our mindset of like, where are we getting our entertainment from? Because the shit on, the shit that's on the radio and the shit that's in the regular newspapers, like, not good enough. We need something more. And like, and I love it. And like, that's why I love doing this. Like, this is the indie, version of baseball talk, right? Like, this is the guys that swear all the time, the guys that are half naked in a hot tub from time to time. Like, this,
we have no formal training. We just throw it in there. It's DIY, and it's just whatever comes out.
And, we get in the van and we go and do the show, right? I mean, like, that's how it's always felt to me, and that's what I loved when I remember going to that show and walking out and just really feeling different about music in general. And so like I agree with what you guys said too. Like, I mean, these are things where you see something new that you're like, shit, nobody told me about this. Why didn't anyone tell me about this? It's so good. And so I mean that's mine.
And there's bands, Teresi, that are incredible live that like the studio never captured the full performance or the full value of that actual band. And and that's something that like I was talking to a guy, I don't even know who the fuck it was, and he was telling me about like country music and how he doesn't like country music. He's like, or he's going to Nashville, and he was like, it was still awesome to listen to these bands down the live. And I was like, well, yeah, because when it's live, everything becomes more rock and roll. Like it's just more, it's groovy, right? Like nobody gets way down Western on you unless you're old. Like if they're old, you know, and that's good for Ralph or whatever the fuck that guy is from AM1000. Like he probably would love that shit. But like most like new country shit, like you can't even like discriminate against like or. It's a word I'm trying to think of and I can't think of it.
Differentiate.
You can't even differentiate between like rock and roll and then the country. So yeah, no, that you're right. And live music is so important. And I go to so many less shows than I used to. And I know you go to a shitload still. And we always have our local H show.
I miss it, man.
That's right. I mean, it is something that's been out of the lexicon now for almost 2 years for that.
And it was even watching Helmet, you know, at the Elbow Room a few years ago. That was just dope.
That was awesome.
It's like even like, and I'm not even gonna get the theater, seeing stuff like that, watching somebody perform, you start to see the talent because we're so consumed, and not consumed, but we're so like used to seeing things like digitally on a computer, on this, on that, and it's like to see somebody actually going out and doing it like no net, like that shit is awesome, and like that's pure talent, and then you can actually see it, and I think you would appreciate even the digital stuff more. Yeah,
I mean, you're making a great point there about it being pure talent. We're like led to believe that the talent all rises to the top, and that all the best of everything is all the stuff you see. And that's not the truth. And then you get even more inspired when you go out there and see some random band that you never heard of. The best stuff is like you go to see some band at, let's say, Metro or whatever, not a big pit, and then you see some of the openers. Like, I never heard of this band, but wow, they're pretty good. I didn't realize this was out there, you know? And you realize how many people out there making something. It doesn't have to be music, or just making something that's really good that a lot of people should be ingesting, but the audience ain't been built up yet, and you're kind of just seeing it early on. It's refreshing. It makes you feel like I could go out and do something.
Yeah,
it wouldn't be music for me, but you get the gist of it.
Yeah, I mean,
you're doing something right now.
That's what I'm saying. Do something.
You like horror?
Get out there and do something.
Yeah,
Space the Sword.
Space the Sword.
Love it. Trees.
All right, well, friends, I think that's it for tonight.
We gotta go. My Suck Summer.
Oh, I thought My Suck Summer went.
I did it. He's up. He's last.
To you.
Hey, passed it back to you.
Oh, I thought he said something about swingers. Sorry about that.
That was his choice for your selection.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so he's got his bit last.
So we're just gonna talk real quick, and it's real quick because somebody asked us to do this. So I thought I would take the reins and I would discuss this, and I'm gonna discuss the most recent internet dust up between maybe our intern and maybe Ken WO, okay? And I'm not going to get into specifics right away because I'm going to give you a little bit of a history lesson here. And back in the day, like when we had message boards, right? That's where I learned the art of arguing on the internet. And folks, the number one rule of arguing on the internet is not to do it. Okay? That is like the first thing you don't do. Like just don't do it because it doesn't matter. Because you're behind a keyboard, you're behind a screen. It is not face to face, right? And there's something within the human like nature when you're with face to face with somebody that maybe you can see a little bit more eye to eye than you would if you were behind a keyboard. Okay. So, now, the second rule of arguing on the internet is if you have to do it, you stick to the facts. Like, and I can't tell you how much time I have wasted in message boards, especially in 2003, 2004, defending Illinois to Wisconsin fans on fucking rivals message boards or whatever the fuck. Okay. And, like, it made no sense. And like, I think about these hours and my mind just blows, right? Like, you could have done something with these hours. You could have earned something. You could have got a degree. You could have done all sorts of different things, but I didn't. I discussed how Roger Powell is the greatest number 4 player and could probably play 5 too, just in case, for Illinois ever. Now, when we see, and I'm not going to speak for you guys, but I think we're all kind of on the same page on this. Like, when I see groups of folks that like get into a fight and get into a big ass fight, it just turns me directly off. And I'm like, I'm not getting involved in this because, first off, I'm here to talk baseball. I'm here to have like a little bit of a humor, like highlight some humor, something like make you entertain you. I'm not here to give you my like political like thoughts. I'm not here to like try to inform you of things that I think are great, unless it's like music or that kind of shit. Baseball player you might not know, but I'm not going to say, yeah, well, that guy sucks because he went to community college. I'm not going to say something like that. Like, because it's just not something that I want to do. I think internet clout from a guy that has a little internet clout, not like Beef Loaf, but is like the stupidest fucking shit ever. Like, it absolutely has no bearing on anything you do in life.
Shots fired at me, by the way.
If you you don't necessarily take it for like a real thing. You don't say to me, "Hey, my sack summer, I have 2,000 more followers than you. Suck my D." Like, you never have said that to me. Well, not yet. So, maybe it could potentially happen, but no. But like, it's not something that you hang your hat on. Right. Now, the internet clout is not necessarily your rep. So internet clout is not something that you necessarily hang your hat on. It's your rep. So when you go out on these fucking little missions and you're making fun of somebody or you're trying to bring them down or put something up, like, that's your rep. So somebody's going to look at you and say, "Oh, I saw you doing this." And you have to think, when you're fucking tweeting out something, I want somebody to look at that and think that is who I am. And I think that's what something doesn't see. And maybe it's an age thing, because like we've discussed things in person and that's how we were raised. So like, I've transferred that over the internet. And now I don't know about kids that have necessarily grown up on the internet and maybe they don't see it as a real conversation or a real human interaction, but the feels are feels. So like, I'm not really sure, like, the whole different anyway. I just don't think you need to blow your rep to like fucking impress somebody for 5 minutes on fucking Twitter. And if I see something like that, then, whatever. Now, specifically, some of us watched what went down with D Brown and Kent. And one guy asked why the 108 collectively did not go in there and like stick up for Darren or like prop him up. Listen, Darren's a 20-year-old kid. He knows what he's fucking doing. He's going to if he wants to take shit personal with somebody, he's going to get personally like clapped back on too. So if you're going to make it personal, it's going to be personal back. I like Ken. I like Darren. I'm not going to bat for either one of them in this argument. That's their fucking shit and they can deal with it. Darren doesn't need my help. If Darren's getting physically attacked or something, I'm definitely not dropping my beer. I'm putting it in the cup holder and I'm going over, because it's about $12. I don't want to fucking be wasting that shit. I'm going to go over there and I'm going to I will do that. But I don't think that's what it was. Darren took something and he made it a little personal. Ken threw some personal shit back. Some people that probably should have known better got involved and made it a little worse. So I don't get it. And that gets with my clout thing. I don't understand why people need to say something to belittle somebody to make themselves feel better about that. Because if you got it and you're a tough person or you're whatever, you have it. So you don't need to worry about it. It just reeks of insecurity when some of that shit goes down. Now, like I said, Darren, we have your back. But you're fucking 20 years old, and the best way to learn about shit is to get smacked in the mouth. And if it's in something like a Twitter or war, it's a very safe thing, okay? It's not in somebody's thing. If you're going to learn something on the internet, that's something you can learn right there. So as your drunk uncle, this is why I let you stay out there, because you fucking protected yourself, and you had 100 million fucking people that jumped to your back, and Ken had his guys too. So like, let's just like, we don't talk politics here. We don't talk feuds here. And you might not ever know if the 108 guys are ever mad at you because we'll just fucking cut you out. We're not going to tell you we're mad at you, and we're not going to fucking sit there and say, oh, we can't believe you did this, because that's fucking Southside. You fucking just roll out and you're like, listen, I gave you a shot. You fucked it up. I'm done. But I ain't going to tell you that. You're just going to realize it when you don't hear from us no more. Because that's Southside to me. If you guys have anything to add, feel free. But that's how it is. That's how we are. That's how this is. We're not tough. I'm a fucking big ass teddy bear, just like these other fucks. A little bit bigger, about 305 bigger. But like, but it is something that I just wanted to get out, because I know that a lot of people, well, or not a lot of people. One guy asked about it, and I was like, we need to say something, because I don't want Darren to think that we don't appreciate him or don't have his back, because we do. But I also don't want to think Ken to think that like we agree with like, or I agree with somebody getting personal right over the thing, because it's both sides are uncalled for. I've talked with other people about it. It's the same deal. So that's it, man. So that's all I got to say on it. I'm glad everybody watched the entire episode to hear this shit. So that's my 2 cents.
I've got nothing to add except one piece here. Everyone goes to the internet for different types of fun. I'm not going to tell people not to have fun whatever way they want to. And I'm just here for the Star Wars gifts. All right, man. Everyone, thank you. I let My Sock Summer talk finally, because I almost cut him off. And now we're truly at the end of the show. But thanks everyone for tuning in, and thanks for listening, and we will talk to you all soon. We'll see you at the park soon, because we're almost at the 60% mark, and I just can't wait for it. See everyone soon.
Peace.